Alrighty, what is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Speakeasy Studios Presents the podcast. I'm your host, 𝙿𝚾𝚳. With me, as always, is my best friend and co-host, Travis McGowan. What up, Travie?
Not much.
Good. Today, I'm actually really excited about our episode. We have not only a personal friend of ours, but somebody that is not only an educator but works in the medical field. Is a DJ. We have this man is a man of many talents. So Adam, welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on.
I'm super stoked to be here as well.
Nice, man, nice. So then, as I mentioned, you're a teacher, a paramedic, and a DJ. So which one of those do you want to crack into first? The teaching side of things, paramedic.
We can go into any one of them. I feel like
I say we just let it go. I say we just let it ride, baby. Okay, cool. So then the first question that I have for you is, why don't you kind of explain to people what you do? Because I actually think it's super fascinating.
Well, what's your current job?
Yeah, what's your current job?
Currently, I teach at a high school. I teach emergency care. I've been teaching. I'm going on my second year now.
Nice.
And I kind of just fell into that. And I really enjoy it. You know, from a guy who used to hate school.
Right.
And now is a teacher.
Yeah.
I feel like it's quite the story, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Did you hate school growing up? Have you always just hated school? Like even when you were going to paramedic school, did you dread it as much, or did you have a little bit more?
No, it was really just a K through 12.
Yeah, that's how I was too.
Because we're all kind of forced to be there.
Right.
And we study multiple things.
It stops feeling crazy.
We don't want to be at school for 7 hours a day.
Right.
Studying math and history and stuff that I don't really care about.
Right, exactly.
Especially home lives can be so much for kids.
Yeah.
That's a lot to balance.
I've
like a job
realized a lot, you know, and I try to look back from when I was a student too. Like now as the teacher, I have so much info about these kids and, you know, what goes on.
Right.
You know, behind the scenes too.
Right.
And you can see it in the way they behave every single day. And to know I was a student and I had no clue my peers had anything going on. I was all about me and my life.
Right.
You know, it kind of helps you open up that door. Like other people are so interesting.
Right. Yeah. And then, so what you teach is technically, or it's considered an elective, right? Like,
they can choose to take it. So thankfully, I get at least half the class or more with people who want to be there.
Right.
Which
that was going to be my question.
Easier to teach.
Yeah, that was exactly what my question was do you think because you're teaching an elective course, it's one of those things where because, you know, most of the students are signing up for that class. I mean, you're always going to have the ones that just sign up, just like put me in whatever. Like that's kind of how I was, but that's how I stumbled into my favorite elective, which was acting. But that must be a little bit of an advantage there. Like to be teaching a class that kids actually kind of want to take.
It's like half college kind of dedication level.
I teach it to that standard too. So I usually let the kids know. I'm like, if you're here because you heard that I was cool, or you think that electives are supposed to be simple, like it's not quite the class for you, right?
Right.
Yeah. Then you may as well take the F right now.
Yeah.
No.
Now, have there been kids that you've had in your class where at the beginning maybe they took that, like, for one of the reasons you listed, like because they heard you were cool or they heard it was an easy A or whatever, and then you kind of got to see them grow into like actually taking interest into it? Like,
yeah, I've actually already had so last year my classes were small because it was my first year,
right?
And I think I only had 70 students
Over the course of like 6 periods?
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
okay.
So when you think about it, a teacher usually will teach for 5, and they have 1 prep, which is where we get to do all of our stuff.
Right.
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 We grade and all that stuff.
Right.
And usually the classes are full, so over 5 you have like 150 students.
Oh,
so
nice.
I was at about half that.
Yeah.
Right. But out of those, I had 3 people who already went to college and they study what I taught them.
That's dope.
Wow, that's cool.
That's dope. So they got like obviously a head start into that career path, because it's also a career path that will always be available. There's the old adage that was kind of in my family where it was like when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, my parents were always just like, well, hey man, if medical field or military, you'll always have a job. And I did work in the dietary section of a hospital for a little while, but never anything into the medical field. And so, but again, several of my family, my mom's in the medical field. My cousins are nurses and firefighters and paramedics and things like that. So I'm definitely very aware of it. I just don't have the gut for it. You know what I mean? I'm sure you understand as somebody who's worked as a paramedic.
Yeah,
and
it
stuff.
takes a very certain type of person.
Right.
Did you have any experiences that like built an emotional callus to that kind of stuff beforehand, or were you just like a fresh out of high school kid who was just ready to handle that kind of load emotionally?
Probably the second one. I feel like I never really attached my emotions to much, which made it easy to kind of just put them aside.
Right. That makes sense.
So seeing all that stuff in healthcare, it just looked like life to me.
Right.
Right.
Right. And then there's also, you find the best peers in those types of jobs.
Yeah, I've met some fantastic friends.
Yeah, because you're all, it's, obviously not the same as the military, but similarly to the military, you have like this camaraderie of like, you guys, it's a dirty job and a lot of people have to do it. And it takes, not only is it a dirty job, but it takes a certain type of person to do so. So like when I was working in dietary at the hospital, it was one of those things where it was like, if I was doing anything else in that hospital, I wouldn't do anything else in that hospital but work in dietary, because what I did was I came up with meal plans. I was a dietary patient care specialist. So I would come up with meal plans for the patients. So we would have, a 70-year-old diabetic come in that we were worried was going to have a stroke. So I would have to meet with him or his family and discuss food allergies, food restrictions. Obviously you don't want to be giving a diabetic chocolate cake.
That would not be ideal.
Not a good thing. They're in the right place, I guess, to have a slice of chocolate cake, but it's like you don't want to be doing that for real. Yeah.
If you ever wanted a slice of chocolate cake
as a diabetic,
now is the time.
Now is the time. Maybe that's why I didn't last very long. No, I'm just kidding. I was there for like 3 years. But no,
Before you killed someone.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's not true. Also, like for the record, I didn't kill anybody. I was very good at my job. Yeah, I was very good at my job. But yeah, I couldn't do anything else in the hospital. They if there was even times where I would like walk by just rooms where I knew what was going on, and I was like, yikes.
It's a trip.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty wild.
heavy.
And then as a paramedic, you're on the front lines of that stuff. You're only called if people are in a really bad way most of the time.
You also see the worst of the impact of literally the impacts.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's, seeing a community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to say for what it is, right? But you do see the worst of the worst.
Right.
And that's what kind of put me out of, honestly, this town, is because my only experience here in Joshua Tree was in the front lines.
Right.
So I guess I only saw the bad things.
Right. And yeah, and you were driving them to where I was at. So
I was 18, so what did
Right.
I know? I didn't know like good people existed.
Yeah.
I was like,
Right.
screw this town.
Right. Did you grow up out here?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No.
So what brought you to Joshua Tree to begin with? Like what?
Job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's
okay.
technically never from here.
I came up here for work.
Nice. Oh, so you didn't even live out here when
No.
you were working out here?
No.
Smart.
Well, I guess technically I did because we worked for 3 days straight. But I mean,
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can
I didn't
make
have a
that
house or
work.
anything.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
because you were working in Morongo probably.
Yes.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. So you're in the station in Morongo then. So for 3 days out of the week you would drive up to Morongo.
I would drive up to
Did you?
Joshua Tree here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're at 36.
No, not the fire station. For
Oh.
MBA.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. Okay, we've talked about this before. Well, I'm informing now the guests or now the listeners know, like because I had just totally spaced on that. So in working with, do you like find yourself toning down like not necessarily toning down, but like, well, I guess like having to tone yourself down when you're teaching high school kids. Like, you're obviously not going to tell them about like, is there anything that you kind of, because
Oh,
you're
no, we
teaching
talk
medical
about
stuff.
everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
and if they're wanting to be a paramedic, you know, you're going to have to, in order for you to be a good educator, you have to relate with them in a certain way. So having to tell
Absolutely.
them,
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing when you teach is not about the material you teach, right?
right,
It's about, first of all, you have to gain the trust of the kids in order for them to want to learn.
Right.
So the kids have to trust the teacher.
Mhm.
That's the most important thing, right? Secondly, I think the material kind of comes second, right? Like, I'm a teacher because there's so many kids out there who don't have somebody to turn to,
right,
right? Like, maybe at home, the mom and the dad say, you know, you're stupid, you'll never amount to anything,
Right.
right? They turn to the teacher, and you're there to support them, to show them they can do what they want to do,
right,
first of all. So you help foster, you plant the seed within them, right?
Right.
So eventually it will grow, or
Right.
mix the soil even, right?
right. So that's cool, and you're teaching such an applicable subject because, as we were discussing earlier, it's like if this is a career path that you really want to take, and you have the gall for it, you have the gut for it, you have like the mentality for it, there's jobs wherever you want to go.
Oh, yeah.
You know, getting certified in California in particular for a lot of medical field stuff makes your certificates across the United States pretty universal. If you can get certified in California, you can get certified pretty much anywhere. Same in like New York, because their standards are so much higher, from what I've heard. I mean, correct me if I'm
as
wrong.
a paramedic, we're really bound by the agency or by the county, right? So we have the protocols for the county, and then that goes into the state, and then that goes into the national level. Unfortunately, we can't really move state to state and just keep our license. We have to challenge the test within that state because all the protocols are different.
Yeah, yeah. I guess do you think that makes sense? Like, I'm stupid, so I don't know. I don't know if I, like...
I wish it made sense, because I feel like one of the main problems with this field is a lack of standard of care.
Right.
So if we were all trained to a standard of care and education was like standard across the nation, and no matter where you went, you know, you could work. I don't know if that's how it is for a nurse or not, but I think it's almost the same. They may have a test too. But
Yeah, my mom's an ultrasound tech, and she took on a few traveling contracts where, like, she went to Colorado for a while and worked for like 6 months, and she would come home every now and again, like when she could get a week off. But like, but I think with her thing, like with radiology, it's pretty universal. Most of the equipment that they're using
yeah,
is
I'm
pretty
sure
universal.
the equipment's almost the same.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's like, I'm sure there was a learning curve as far as like navigating the hospitals out there, because she took, if I'm not mistaken, she took a contract in Colorado to travel around different hospitals. They had like an influx of like they needed ultrasound techs, and my mom's like really like she's really qualified as an ultrasound tech. She's got like multiple sub-license stuff and everything like that. So they asked for her because she was the closest one around them. Like Southern California was where they were like, okay, that's the person that we need. She's qualified for, I think it was like a heart disease thing, because she can scan hearts and stuff like that. But yeah, she was gone for like 6 months, and I feel like she didn't have to retest anything or anything like that. That's a specialty field, though.
I'm uncertain.
Yeah.
You're already a specialist. Like,
Right.
It
Yeah.
makes sense that
With paramedics, I wonder if it's like, well, you might be able to answer this. Is it like an equipment thing where like different...
It's not an equipment thing. It's a protocol thing. A lot of
That's so
the
weird.
drugs we give or certain things we do are not the same. Even in the county next door, they're different from us.
That's insane.
So there's really just like
That
this
doesn't seem
disconnect.
healthy.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's horrible.
that seems like a like to me.
Is there a way to like? Is there a utopian way to fix that?
Probably make
Universal
a national
schooling?
standard the national standard,
Right.
right? Or maybe down to like the state level. But to bring it down to each like level of the county is a bit.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
egregious to me.
Yeah.
You'd have to do an umbrella law.
Think about the
kind of,
people
huh?
that run this count. Like I guess San Bernardino County's really large, but like think about the representatives that we have for just this town. I don't want them running medical stuff. Like,
Yeah, well, thankfully it's not really up to them. What I mean by the county is like we have a credentialing agency, right?
Okay.
And then at the head of that is a doctor, and that doctor is usually the one in charge of making all of the protocols, because the way it works for a paramedic is I am an extension of him.
Of him, exactly.
So any treatments I do is because the standing orders of this doctor says I can do them.
Right.
Right.
That's so weird.
So we operate kind of as an extension of them, of what they would do or what they would choose to do.
Yeah.
And for each doctor, that's different.
I think it almost makes sense if you wanted to do it. Like, I think it makes sense to do it on a state level, and then in huge states separate, maybe do like 3, like like a southern, middle, and northern California, and each one has a doctor that represents,
region
and they
of some
meet.
kind.
Yeah, I could see that being an easy, because county by county, there's just too many.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Wouldn't the general surgeon or whatever? I feel
Surgeon
like that's
general?
kind of like is that like a fruitless position? Isn't that what you
Maybe for
do?
Emergency care, I've never heard of him
I just feel like
or them
that
being in charge
should
of
be
anything.
kind of like who does that. If
Yeah.
they're the ones dictating that substances are not healthy, then they should probably be like, hey, the substances that you're using on your patients are not healthy. Because some counties are practicing some backwards ass shit in Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for real. In
hope
Florida,
not.
they had before it was shut down, or whoever came in and fixed that, they had methadone clinics on every corner in Florida.
I think those are in San Francisco and stuff too. Actually, San Francisco took that a step further, and I think there's safe injection sites.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, that's a
like
whole
a
different. That's like a
yeah.
whole different thing.
That's a
Whole
whole
different
podcast
can
on
of.
its
Yeah.
own.
I mean, we can talk about it.
I think. Well, what do you think about it? Because you're the one that would have to go and treat these people when they're overdosing.
That's the thing, though. That's not entirely true, because it's a clinic for a reason. These safe injection sites, like
they have registered nurses.
from
there
what
and
I
things
know,
like that.
is there's usually stuff there to reverse an overdose.
Right.
Right?
Oh, the Narcan
That's
stuff.
why it's like that's
So
why it's
that's
like
why
the
they're
safe.
there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They go there to inject where they know if they overdose, they can be revived.
So there's a good argument. Then that's a good argument.
I think it's nice.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
then
gonna
you
make a really dark joke and then just be like, is that like a heroin Pokemon Center?
Basically, it's a heroin pokey stop.
ding 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 ding.
Yeah, it's dude, it's and then you get to the ones in all the major cities, and those ones are like the gyms. Those are the pokey gym, the heroin
Don't go
gyms.
to LA. The shanties there. There's a
Ooh,
fucking mob
psychic
boss.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Psychic heroin addicts.
Have you worked? What's like the furthest county you've worked away from San Bernardino? Because you're still in San Bernardino
I've
County.
only
out
ever
there, right?
worked in this
Or
county.
Riverside, right? So you've worked in only San Bernardino.
Only
County.
San Bernardino County. yeah.
Interesting. So you never done Riverside County or LA County or anything?
No, I never wanted to take a protocol test just to go over there, because their
That makes
protocols are
sense.
different.
Dude, that's so.
Yeah.
See, that kind of stuff is crazy to me, because Riverside and San Bernardino touch borders the whole, like, if you're in like like you're either in Riverside County, if you're in our area, you go through 2 counties to really get to LA County or Orange County. You go through either Riverside County or you go through San Bernardino County. So it's crazy to me that those 2 can't even come to terms with, like, yeah, this is the standard of care for people in this area. Like, that's just stupid. It just sounds like somebody's getting a lot of money and being extremely overpaid to make up whatever. Like, that's how I look at it. It's just
Yeah,
like,
I
so
have
one dude
no
is probably,
idea.
I'm sure that whoever's running San Bernardino County's standards or whatever.
I've heard they're very
SOPs.
understaffed, from what I've
Yeah,
heard.
that would make sense.
But again,
sucks.
I mean,
Yeah, it's just super unfortunate period. So hopefully that gets worked out. But.
Yeah, no, really. So heading back into, so you teach high schoolers.
yes,
Generally, is it freshman through?
freshman through senior, yeah.
Okay. So my oldest brother is an elementary school teacher. And I have a buddy, Devin, who's actually younger than me. I think he's 25 or 26. He teaches at the high school up here. And when I talk to both of them separately, my oldest brother is a lot like you and a lot like Devin, where he's a younger dude, younger, handsome guy, and his whole thing is I'm staying away from high school, was my oldest brother's thing. Like he feels like, I don't think, because he'd be a great high school teacher. He was like my best friend in high school. He's good with all age groups, and he kills it at elementary. But he's so smart, and he's like so energetic that I think he could be one of those teachers that really helps out a lot of kids who in high school need that mentor?
High school, I mean, those students need a teacher who cares about them.
Right.
That's really all they need. Because think about us going back to like being 14 to 17 years old.
Right.
Right? The world was against us, so to speak.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't.
Yeah.
But they just need an adult to care about them.
Right. Yeah, because, you know, I've always told my brother, I was like, dude, you should teach high school. And he's just always like, fuck that, dude. Like,
they can be crazy.
That's
fun for me, though.
But also he'd be teaching high school up here probably. And I don't know. Well, I know for a fact that Yucca High, when Travis and I were going there, had the highest dropout rate. And so it was the lowest graduating success in San Bernardino County.
It's
This is
rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
Also,
Our
like,
class
a lot of the
sucked.
teachers,
Yeah,
gave
like
you
our-
the kind of extended the hand to just talk to you.
Right.
It didn't matter if you were just taking an extra 20 minutes.
Yeah,
or something.
because when I was a freshman, I remember this. Sorry, did I cut you off? Did
No,
you?
you're good.
Oh, okay, cool. I remember in my freshman year, they told us that our class was like almost, I think it was like 1,200 kids that we had in our freshman class. By the time we graduated, our graduating class was like 342, or something
Wow.
insane like that. We're like in this tiny town of Yucca Valley where there's only one high school. We have the highest dropout rate per capita in San Bernardino County, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the largest
County.
landmass county in.
I also blame the school for that just a tad.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I want my brother to teach there, because it's like, dude, you would kill it. And then my buddy Devin, who does teach at the high school, I hear his stories, and his, like, most of them are horror stories that, like, he can look back and laugh at when he's telling them to his buddies. But, like, at the time, I'm sure it was extremely frustrating for him to be dealing with these high school kids.
Some
So,
people are really insane.
yeah.
Either insane or their situations are insane.
They're just-
where
yeah,
it's
so they don't know
you
anything
think
Probably the
so
second
deeply
one.
Yeah.
for
But
them,
this
you know,
school
like
system's-
that's just a reflection.
Every action has a reason.
Right. And so that's
Right.
my question to you is, do you feel as like a younger, you know, like teacher that do you feel like you get more respect from the kids? Like, or do you feel like you get less respect because they, you know, they look at you as like not necessarily an equal, but just like an older
Yeah.
brother rather than like.
Depends on your definition of respect. If you go through like the old school standards, like in their seat, quiet, don't talk, doing their work, then absolutely
That's
not.
not what I mean at all. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
I
well,
don't
I
get
just
any
mean like,
That's
do you
not
feel
respectful for you to treat them?
right?
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
So
you mean respect like they trust me and I trust
100%.
them and we work, you know,
100%.
we create a community within the classroom? Then yeah.
okay. Because I'm really like, you know, like I said, my brother's a killer elementary school teacher, but he's so smart and he's so like into teaching. Like he would be a great math teacher. As someone who, like, when I was in high school, I was so bad at math. Like, it was like I was embarrassed about it. Now I went to a private school up here. I went to Joshua Springs. We have a whole section in one of our episodes about it. But they weren't like a credentialed school. So like when students from Joshua Springs would apply to colleges like USC or UCLA, they would get denied 9 times out of 10 because they're not an accredited school. And so when I
Really?
went,
A private school?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
they're a private school and they're not the curriculum that they're teaching. So when I was in like 8th grade or 7th grade, the math that I was learning, like the algebra classes that I had, were like 5th, 6th grade level things. And so I was, one, really bad at math and already struggled with it. And 2, when I went over to public school, my sophomore year, they put me in geometry because my transcript said that I was in Algebra 1 and that I had passed Algebra 1. So they put me into geometry, and I had never heard of 90% of the stuff that the geometry, I didn't know what Pythagorean
What's
theorem.
a square?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, like,
triangles are fucking
I mean,
doozies.
like the formula stuff. Like I was in 9th grade and didn't know what the Pythagorean theorem was.
That's what everybody knows in
Same.
9th grade.
I totally know what that is.
That's like
I
the one
retained
thing
that
you
after
learn.
high school. I
No,
definitely
dude, I
know
feel
what
like in
that is.
junior high, because when I told that to one of my classmates, he's like, bro, you don't remember it from Locke and Tenno, like a squared plus b squared equals c squared? And I was like, I've never heard of that in my entire life. So it like shifted so I was already bad at math. And then I had like way more troubles with it after I switched over to public school because I was learning at a 9th grade level instead of a 6th grade level. Like it was very interesting to see how different the things were. But my brother would be really like a great math teacher for a kid like me who struggled in math.
Yeah,
it might
I
be...
really kind of want to teach math.
Yeah, that'd be dope, dude.
It just depends on where I go next, right? Do I want to be in the classroom forever? Most likely not.
Right.
But we'll just see where it goes.
Yeah.
Okay? So like, I know that they both have different sets of struggles. So like, obviously it's more chill now. So you prefer this job, or did you like the intensity of the last one?
That's a
I know that there's
great
like
question, dude.
perks to each, and you have a whole community of your own. But like, was the raw intensity addicting to where you want to go back to that because you're at a desk now? Like, community and students aside, is the whole rush of saving someone's life like drawing you back?
The intensity was kind of lost when you get burnt out like I was.
Right.
So like, yeah, so like, I imagine that everyone, you just get way too used to it. So like, you're just done at that point.
I
You just get
I still do it
completely
now. I actually just
emotionally
work a shift
calloused over.
last weekend, right? So I still work shifts every so often,
Oh geez,
Right.
which I
yeah.
think is more enjoyable for me because it's kind of like a treat, right?
Right.
It's like, oh, this is a really cool job that I get to do because I want to.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. So that would be your motive too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. I
That's
was just
pretty dope.
curious because like you already got all the way through it and it was taxing, and I saw that in our friendship, like personally. So I was like, and then I watched you chill when you got this job and stuff. So I was like, I didn't know if like the whole like fucking 100 miles an hour thing was like a million times more fun
No.
than that.
No, if anything, you know, I got to a point where a critical call would pop and I'd be like, please don't send me. Because I just didn't
Yeah.
want to deal with it.
Right. That makes sense. Okay, so in light of you being a teacher, you had a great idea and you asked your students to submit some questions for us. So we have a list of 5 different questions that we're going to ask you throughout the podcast. And I'm almost debating with the idea of asking them, doing like my impression of a different high schooler every single time.
Oh boy.
I don't know if I'm going to continue it, but I'm going to ask this question like one of your students would ask you.
Okay.
Hey, yo, Mr. A.
Uncanny.
During your... All right, no, I'm dropping it there. It sounds too weird. So the first question is, during your time as a paramedic, did conversations about death or calls in the workplace change as time passed?
Change on a personal level? Yes. But really from the first day you get into it and you hear like the more experienced people around you, you know, just treat death like it is what it is.
Right.
So
Right.
it helped that your colleagues were already desensitized, basically.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But
No, I
also,
can see
showed
that.
you how to do that in a healthy way and not
no,
destroy
it showed me how
yourself,
to
I
do it
guess,
in a
right?
very unhealthy
In a
way.
calloused way. Yeah.
Awesome.
Because I have a... Because, you know, so here's a decent example of it because it's not as serious as far as, like the traumatic things go that a paramedic kind of has to deal with. But my mom, when she first started doing ultrasound, she never really, like, talked about it very much. And then, like, we'd be like, oh, how, you know, my dad would be like, how was your day? We'd be eating dinner or something. And she'd be like, oh, it was good. You know, I had this really sweet old lady. She would tell, like, the sweet stories about, like, her day. I had this really sweet old lady, and I had to scan her, whatever, you know, her legs or just to see if there was any blood clots or whatever it was that she was doing that day. And then a couple years later, we're sitting around the table, and my dad was like, you know, how was your day? And she's like, oh, good, man. I had to scan 6 scrotums today. And my dad's like, Jesus. You know what
That's
I mean?
nuts.
Yeah,
A
so
rough
it's like
day
she
in the
became like very calloused very, very quick. Like to where you know, like, it would go from being like we would only hear about the sweet old ladies to now we're just hearing about like had to scan someone's
Just straight
scrotum today.
scrotum talk.
Yeah, scrotum talk at the dinner table, dude. Like you better hope we're not having
That's
Rocky
great.
Mountain
That's
oysters.
really good broccoli.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. This is great broccoli. Mom, I think the Rocky Mountain oysters are a little undercooked. Beans and mash. Beans and mash. That's perfect. No, but that's interesting though because, you know, like from the short time that I worked in the subdivision of a medical field.
Subdivision,
Yeah, I was in the subdivision of the medical
I was
field.
in the special forces.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's not necessarily. I was like, if the special forces had janitors, that's what dietary was. Yeah.
Clap.
But working in the medical field, you know, being around nurses and being around doctors, you know, and then having to have meetings with patients all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I became very calloused over time. It's like, oh, dude, here's just another, like, dude that's in here.
We seem to only think of the ones that are mean,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, for sure. There's one patient that I actually got attached to. Like, one patient that I really like. I was working
Did
up
they
at the...
die?
Yes, they did.
Oh,
It was
fuck.
very sad. That was actually going to be...
Spoiler.
Spoiler
I'm
alert,
so
Trav.
sorry.
Damn.
I'm just like, I want
No,
to
it was-
know
Next
in
segment.
advance.
Yeah, no, so he was...
This
So I
way
was...
I watched the fucking fall.
Yeah. I was working in the the continuing care center above our hospital, which is basically where when families don't have, you know, money to put people in homes.
I know
or
that
anything,
place
yeah.
very, very well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You've had to go to the CCC before, so I
Multiple
worked
times.
there.
Yeah.
We had a patient named Terry, and he was like the coolest dude. And one day I was wearing a sweatshirt. I know what you're thinking, and don't say it.
I probably know who you're talking
Yeah.
about.
He was a super old, like, just like, he was just a cool dude, man. I think he had Parkinson's, and then he just got, I think he got pneumonia or something at the end of his life. But I was walking around with a unicorn sweater one day, and he was just like, that's the coolest sweater ever. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I got him one, and he wore it every day. You know, every day that I was working, like, he would come over and see us in the kitchen, and he would have it on. And then when he passed away, I remember being like pretty bummed about it. Like, do you feel like, because the paramedic side of things, like, you know, again, you're dealing with like the most intense type of stuff. Yeah. So are there like certain moments to where like you, like, as used to it as you might be, did you still find yourself like in situations where you're like, this is totally fucked?
Absolutely. But it's usually the ones you know, you don't ever make jokes about, like, you know, the death of
the kids,
a child
How
or
did
something.
those situations affect you and your work, or like your colleagues' work? How did that kind of
Just
like
death in general?
Well, I mean, like, just all the turbulence, like the callus and stuff building up or whatever.
We just made jokes about
heaviness.
it, which is a very unhealthy way
I've
to
noticed
cope.
that about you guys.
Yeah, we're filled with
a lot
making
of
jokes about
dead
serious
baby
topics.
jokes.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know about those
I
ones.
mean, like, metaphorically, you
Yeah.
know, like you guys do the equivalent of dead baby jokes at a Thanksgiving table.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
being, because you're
just
so
amongst friends though. So
Yeah.
like I see how you guys operate together as like paramedics and
Yeah.
EMTs, and I'm like, oh,
It's unhealthy. You
Yeah.
really just don't take the time
it
to,
would
like,
be unhealthy
process
to not.
and
Right.
internalize your traumas. You
Right.
just deflect them.
Do you think that that therapy is do you think that therapy is something that is more needed in the medical field, or do you think that it's, because I like recently what I've seen is a lot more paramedics, nurses, doctors being more comfortable with the idea of treating mental health more seriously, and their own
Absolutely,
being
yeah.
included.
Therapy, for those it works for, I think it's great.
Right.
You know, I've been fortunate enough in my life to kind of be able to cope well and process my traumas well, right? But that's not something that everybody can do.
Right. Right.
It is offered. I know it is offered as a part of, like, every job. If you have a critical call, you have to go to a debriefing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I guess you don't have to. It's offered to you.
So you basically have a like on
A
staff
chaplain,
kind of
for the most part, yeah.
therapist deal.
Yeah, yeah, where we just all go and we sit in a circle and we talk about, you know, the emotions we felt and how it
Right.
made us feel.
Hi,
right?
my name is Adam, and I'm a
Yeah.
paramedic.
Hi, Adam. All right,
What
cool.
are emotions?
Yes, I think that's one of those things too, because like I feel the same way. Like for the people that therapy works for, because also, you know, therapy. I think there's like this misconstrued idea that therapy is for everybody, and
Yeah,
that and, like
it's definitely not.
especially like
no.
there's like especially people who go to therapy will be the first ones to tell
Yeah,
you like
but
you need to go to
also
therapy.
The people who smoke weed are the first ones to say smoke weed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To me,
and
it's a
the,
lot like
you just communicate with your friends.
That's all it
Right.
You
takes.
need to. You
My
just
friends
have
are my therapists.
an
Right.
open line of communications. When you have a hard day, you go home and communicate to the fucking people.
Exactly.
And then like the support net.
Yeah.
That's like the bottom line.
Yeah, there was a brief time, probably about like a 6 month, it was probably like 3 or 4 month period in my life where I was going to therapy once a week. And I used BetterHelp, which was, it actually did work for me. I was very depressed at the time. I was feeling very low about myself. I didn't have any friends other than the person that I was living with at the time, who was not a great influence on me, so to say. And I had signed up, and I was just like, you know what, like, fuck it, I'm going to give it a shot. And my therapist was great. His name was Walter Barrows. I think he's out of Alabama. And we would do a FaceTime call for an hour once a week.
Oh, I was expecting like a text chat.
Yeah, no, it was a FaceTime. Yeah, we did a FaceTime call. You can choose. That's kind of the cool thing. What I think is cool about the technology era that we're in. There's a lot of these therapy sites that are coming up, the BetterHelps, the Talkspaces, like things like that, and you can choose how you want to interact with your therapist. And I think people, to further on that point of it being like a text chat type thing, I think that's actually damaging to people. I think if you're texting about things with the therapist, I think that you have to, I know that some people don't like to do FaceTime or don't like to talk on the phone, but I think it's very, very vital, especially in a therapy situation.
Especially
I think it's
right
vital.
now with kids who are, they're comfortable texting each other, but won't talk to each other face
Exactly.
to face.
I think you have to have that uncomfortable conversation.
Things have just like, well, yeah. But like, I personally, as someone who had like extreme social anxiety to the point where like going to my doctor's appointments damaged my mental health.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the whole morning of, day before, and day after were just like turbulent. And then instead of like do the text thing because I wanted to directly face it, I like found a happy medium and did the Skype thing.
That's exactly what I was. I was doing a FaceTime like on my phone call.
Having my body emotions read and stuff to where I was directly confronting it, but like I can see how some people like are like physically not in the situation to like openly go and communicate to someone, because like what if like you're living with your abuser or something, and then like you're fucking stuck with text because that's when I see that coming in. But like aside from that,
but see, what you had a really good point too is that you mentioned that you had stuff that you knew you wanted to directly face, so you chose to do the Zoom call thing.
Because saying it out loud is different than texting.
It's much different.
It's much different, because like that's when you lay in bed at night, you remember what you said.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't like scan through the text that you said in your head 5 times because you had a typo. That kind of flew out the window versus like, I said some real shit and stumbled on my words because they were significant.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. That's a perfect example.
Sometimes you don't really, and maybe this is a personal thing, I talk to myself a lot, right? But you don't like understand your own thoughts until you speak them.
Yeah. 100%.
That's why I was glad you communicated through all of your stuff, because like you'd get heavy and then quiet and then like talk and then be...
Well, and that's like that's like what you were saying, is like your friends are your therapists. You know, if you're able to rely on your friends. Yeah, see, so now I have the greatest group of friends, you know, like you included, Travis included, AJ included, Nichelle. Like the people that I surround myself with are so great. Like, so I don't necessarily need to be paying $250 a month to
let's
have
talk about
better
that.
help.
The extortion.
That's what
of
I'm
mental
saying.
health.
Dude.
Yeah. I luckily got hooked up with a really cool therapist paying $250 a month, which is cheaper than general therapy is.
I pay out of pocket for mine because like, I had insurance and then turned 26 and was like, oh, I am an adult.
Yeah. Well, that's
save for when you're 26, kids.
Yeah, don't
have a couple G's in your account when you're 25.
Seriously,
because you're gonna hit that fucking.
A lot of kids now are
helping you with your
working jobs. Like, I'm very surprised. Like some of my
16-year-olds
have jobs.
I love these kids. I love these kids that are coming up. That's why I think it's so, you know, and sorry kids that we've been cursing about, but I think it's so fucking important that we have teachers like you and teachers like my older brother and teachers like my buddy Devin.
we're fucking bleeping this fucking shit out. Like, fucking, you have no idea.
Dude, you're gonna have so many censors. We're gonna get a censor. Are we?
So
Are
many
we?
dolphin fucking noises? It's
Are
not
we
even
censoring?
Demonetized.
Are we censoring this?
I'm gonna go through the audio.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I'm fine either way. So wait, you get demonetized just for cursing?
Yep.
That's so
If
lame.
we drop a fucking F-bomb.
Wait, so then how do these podcasts that are like super monetized, like?
They're just on different platforms.
Yep.
YouTube is just like
Patreon.
Oh, so YouTube's
Other
the one that's
platforms are
demonetizing
available.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I consider...
Okay, that's
Yeah.
oh my god, that makes so much sense. We're gonna get off topic of the episode real fast because this just blew my mind. That's why all these new podcasts are being like, "Hey guys, we love that you're watching our content on
Different
YouTube,
hosting sites.
but
But
please
don't,
go
yeah.
on Spotify and subscribe and listen to it there."
That's why our stuff is gonna
Holy
have like a 2 to 3 week lag.
shit!
Yeah, because
Wow.
okay, so title.
So we don't have to
pays-
censor it on Spotify.
No.
No.
Fuck yeah.
No,
Okay, cool.
No.
I thought we were censoring
It's
all of it.
literally called freedom of speech.
Okay.
But like,
Well, fuck you, YouTube.
yeah,
That's
straight
what I
up.
have to say.
YouTube is so massive to where like so much is going on. And they've had lawsuits and lost money, so they just don't fuck.
They
with
just
people
shut it
anymore.
down. They just shut it down.
Go to title. That's like what 0.00015 cents
Right.
per
I have no
play.
idea.
And then you go to Spotify and it's 0.00003 or something weird like that, a minute number. And you go to YouTube and you're literally getting into the 0.6 large number, like a 9, so it adds up quickly or whatever. But
Yeah.
like, it's
Weird.
just really, really fucked the way
That
that
is fucked.
it's completely backwards and you're not allowed to curse. Like,
Yeah, no, because
So,
that's my
yeah.
whole thing. So you know how many? I live with, my girlfriend and her sister is the owner of the house, and she has a daughter, and her daughter is 6 years old, and her name's Zoe, and I love her to death. She's my little niece. Her and I are super close, but sometimes I catch her like watching YouTube videos, and I'm like, wait, how is this on a kid's channel?
This is the issue with YouTube. That's why
They make like these
control
videos that are,
everything
dude,
because-
that's insane. So we can't say fuck, but they can have videos about Spider-Man dry humping
Yeah,
Wonder
that's-
Woman and platform it to kids specifically.
That's education.
Right?
it is. It is.
This is how superheroes are made, kids.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's like literally insane to me. I caught her. Yeah, no. Aside from all of that, man, we're gonna have some great content on that. You know how often we're gonna say "fuck YouTube" on this podcast and then
So
upload it
many
to YouTube.
SpongeBob dolphin noises
Yeah.
are in this episode right now.
Yeah, that's so sick. I want to do the banana slip.
Oh yeah, all of us are getting our
Yeah.
own independent. Nichelle said that we should get our own independent ones. So like, he could have the banana slit. You'll have the SpongeBob dolphin noise.
I think I've become so good at being a teacher. I haven't cursed once.
I don't think
on
he's
here.
cursed yet.
that's terrible because
Yeah.
I know you.
No, that's
personally.
great though.
Oh my
He's
god, it gets
that's
bad.
great.
That's one thing I really had to change.
But
is
he's
going
representing
from
his students right now.
bet,
Station
because,
speech.
Yeah.
like, bro,
Station speech is nasty.
To being a
It's
teacher?
disgusting.
you would talk about mustard and curse, and then spill mustard and then curse. Like, there is no like direct order of.
I'd get off the
profanity.
couch and curse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or before. Fuck.
Yeah, that's before I get up.
Do you think? So do you think that like your kids look at you as kind of like, because you're like a younger, as far as like teachers go, you know, they probably look at you and have like this, like, do you think they're more comfortable around you?
I
Like, do you think they make them more
appreciate
comfortable?
my age.
Yeah.
Yeah, just being able to
Got you, right? 'Cause-
relate to them a bit.
Yeah,
more.
because high school kids don't want to be told what to do
Yeah.
from somebody in their 40s.
No.
You know, but if you're in
No.
your late 20s or early 30s, you're going to have a much better chance of them being like, oh, this dude seems cool.
And I don't often, I mean, I do tell them what to do. If I said I don't, they would call me out. But, like, giving them the freedom of choice of how they want to work and the pace they want to work and how they want to complete their work
Right,
makes them work.
right.
You know, it's just, if you tell a kid to work a certain way and that's not how their brain works, they're not going to get it done.
Right.
Yeah, if you're in water, you're automatically gonna swim.
So is there like a
you
lot
don't
of
have to be instructed to live?
Yeah. Do you use a lot of like hands-on and physical learning as far
Yeah.
as like that type of
I
stuff
really,
goes?
really want to do more. It's just kind of finding my own feet, getting the equipment I want and need,
Right.
and
And
finding
schools
the
are
time
obviously
to set
way-
that
How much,
stuff
how
up.
much extra funding would you personally need to get the curriculum and tools to make a proficient environment in your head.
Fucking CPR dummies are so expensive.
They
dude.
are, and I have 8 adult and 8 kid ones, which should be enough if we pair kids up in like groups.
Yeah, but then
right?
they're gonna be all weird about fucking
But
the actual process
do
of
you
it.
have 16 kids? No, that's
I have like 25.
See, that's not
yeah.
right. You need
Well,
at
to be
least,
fair,
half that.
A
That way you
disclaimer,
do two.
that's all I asked for. Right? They've ordered me almost everything I asked for.
Okay, yeah, because I was just like, are you like shortcut? Because
No. It's
Yeah.
just I didn't really expect my class to grow at the pace it did, from being so small to being one of the more enrolled ones on campus.
Would that be because like you're not a dick teacher, or like is it an uprising kind of thing to where kids are like, this liberal arts degree is probably not going to get me as far as a practical thing?
Is prevalent right now. Is a lot of kids really are pursuing career technical education.
That's the way to go, because like even when I was in high school, I graduated in 2011, I could currently see everything kind of switching between everyone was going to be a teacher and blah blah blah, and then halfway through they changed their majors because the world started shifting, and then they were like and then ended up doing welding, and then we're making more money than they were gonna make being a teacher, like way fucking more, just by doing something that they did as a hobby. So I was just like weird watching that happen, kind of growing up, watching literally it flip to where people started changing their degrees. Like, you're the same age, so, you know.
Yeah, kids are starting to realize they can enroll in like community college and it'd be fine.
Especially early, because when I was in
status.
college, I had high school students in here with me. Like, I was like, you're in a fucking advanced coding class, and you're sitting here at 14. Like, I'm 26, and I'm like, whoa.
The curriculum's getting good.
Yeah, no, seriously.
It's insane. We really have more than ever to teach these kids now.
Yeah, that's super good. I just, like, I really am a freak for making sure that, like, classrooms would be well funded, or like just like, because obviously the state doesn't pick up enough to where, like, even if you ask for everything, would you get it? Like everything you could
it's
need
dependent
to
on
like
where the budget is and if it's back ordered and if it's in stock, and at least that's what it seems like.
that makes sense.
Everything I've asked for so far, for the most part, I've gotten.
That's good, because like I don't know why I imagined it be like you'd be limited to like a poor amount of, like, because of overcrowding in classrooms. I'm not sure if that's local to like our Joshua Tree area in the Morongo Basin.
It probably is,
because like
the
there's
school
like
districts
40 kids
up
a
here.
class.
Dude, the
I've
school
heard
districts
of
up
it.
here are
They're
so
not
bad.
very good.
I have,
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm motivated on fixing that kind of specific thing, because like I
They're
just
really
feel like
bad.
it's that way everywhere, so why not treat it that way, I guess.
right.
Yeah, it needs to be overhauled from the top down.
For sure.
It's, dude, the school, like I said, my oldest brother, his wife, both teach at Onaga Elementary. My, wife or girlfriend, whatever I'm calling her
He
these
forgot
days.
if he married her.
Yeah, I know, we're not married yet. We might as well be.
When's
dude.
your anniversary?
October. It'll be 6 years.
Damn, you've been married for 6 years.
I've been married for 6 years.
It's crazy.
But my girlfriend is the librarian at Onaga. My buddy Devin teaches in the high school up here. I've got boots on the ground up here as far as like, because with our music stuff, that's like the first priority, is like we need to help out the kids that are from here. We need to help out the school systems that are up here. But from what I understand, talking to my brother and his wife and my girlfriend, the problem isn't the school. The problem is the teachers association and the teachers union and things like that.
That very well could be. I mean, a union's a good thing for the workers, I guess, but it tends to lead to corruption.
100%. Because
True. I have personally experienced a teacher up here to where corruption in her class, quote corruption in her class, I'm doing that air thing, led me to like know how to navigate college and be like, nah, I can kind of skate on this paper. Like the fact that she was nestled into a teachers union and lazy kind of taught me how to be an efficient student later on in life. When I graduated, I was dog shit and the class was dog shit, and I didn't learn anything about English or math, but when I graduated, everything that I was ranted at was like super applicable, and I immediately was like, spitting truths here. So
Right.
like, yeah, that's why like I'm glad that you're a teacher, because you're gonna kind of like push an envelope until it bends a little, and then
Oh, yeah.
say what
For
you
sure.
need to say,
bent.
because that's that. Yeah, exactly. Just don't. Yeah.
Let's yeah. So let's field another one of these questions that your students wanted the answer to, and let's see here, Mr. A. Did you or your colleagues ever feel desensitized as time passed, and did that ever affect your or their work ethic?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
We
mean,
talked about that a lot leading up to the desensitized part.
Yeah.
As far as it affecting your work ethic, though, we haven't covered that yet.
I would say it did.
Yeah.
Right. Suddenly, these emergencies became my paycheck.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you
And
start
it's-
treating people like a paycheck, and
I mean, personally, I feel like I didn't that much, but
Right.
depending on the day, depending on the amount of sleep I got and my mood,
Right.
I probably could have.
Right.
Right. It just became like so run of the mill. Like we would get a call in the night, and you would imagine like the way you see it, like we spring out of bed and we rush outside and we hop in. But no, I usually look and I know my timer for how long I have to get en route before I get in trouble.
right.
So I'll roll over and then I'll kind of like roll over back in bed and look at the ceiling a bit. And then I go, and I get out of my bed
Yeah.
and then I kind of get dressed. I go to the bathroom. I might grab a snack and then we get going.
Right. Right.
Right? It just becomes a lot of that. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't be bothered.
Meanwhile, some old dude's just on his floor
Somebody
like,
might
"Ah!"
actually be dying. And
Yeah.
of course it entirely was dependent on the call type. We usually get told, it's not always right, but we usually get the call type. If
Yeah,
it's
your
the
like
voice
code
comes
red
through
type.
and straight lets
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah. If
You
it's
get
like
dispatch on the line.
abdominal pain, I'll be like,
Right.
okay,
All
it's
right, we got a minute.
9 out of 10 times, or
Right.
99 out of.
And I've
100
seen you guys
times.
like recognize calls. You're like, they're getting a ride again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
Yeah, you get your
we know
usuals,
where
too,
certain
yeah.
people
Yeah.
Especially
live.
up here in a small area, when you were working up here, you probably had such a mapping of just, oh, dude, we're going back to so and so's house.
You know exactly where they live,
Yep.
and
That's-
then you see the address, and again,
Right.
you take your time getting there.
Right. Because you know what
yeah,
it's going to
because
be.
then
It's-
you know.
right.
Yeah.
and that's a
where
big
that
part
would-
with people too. Something in this area that's very, very common is obviously we have a lot of drug use. We have a lot of drug addicts and a lot of drug abusers and things like that. And with that comes paranoia. And so, like even when I was doing the Fire Explorers program out here for the brief amount of time that I was in it, I did a ride out one time where, I remember being in the back of the ambulance, and just kind of like getting the EKG machine ready and things like the thing that does the heart thing, right? That's the
Yeah.
EKG. Kind of just like getting that, making sure it was sanitized, like wiping it off as we're on our way. And the paramedics are just kind of like moseying on through. There's no sirens going, and I was like, wow, this is like way less glamorous
Yeah,
than I thought it was gonna be. Like, you think about like being a paramedic and being like a
fireworks are
yeah,
coming behind them.
you're diving into the buildings first, and like you're gonna save the dog while you're at it. Like, and it's just not like you were saying, like 99 times out of 100, you're getting a call that's literally like, my stomach hurts.
Yeah, it's
I need to go in
really
an
surprising
ambulance.
for people to know that, and maybe that's the community here too. It could be different elsewhere, but
Sure,
as
if you're
far as
working
I
in
know,
LA
it's
County, I'm
not,
sure you get some pretty
right?
decent. But then you're working in LA County.
It's
like,
a lot of the run-of-the-mill things, and they call because their stomach hurts, or they call
Right.
because they have an infection on their leg that they've known about for a week that they're going to the doctor for tomorrow but can't wait.
Right.
Like, I've gotten calls because, does my toe look infected? Right?
Just like,
There was a call.
it's 3 in the morning,
That's why they
Sally.
should bring back wagon
I think it
doctors
actually
for
was like
home.
2. So I
Yeah.
was very
Yeah.
upset.
That's
He's
when
like,
you get those calls because,
Yeah.
again, generally in this area, people are awake very late because there's a huge amount of people up here that are abusing amphetamines and doing all that stuff. So they're up late. They, are stumbling around their house, kick a table, and all of a sudden, they're
God
in-
forbid, fucking Mercury goes into retrograde. So
good Lord,
man, that puts Joshua Tree in a tailspin.
you have
Dude,
well, you have every idea.
No.
Every idea.
Bro, like
If
we
it
used
is a
to-
full moon,
the full moon thing is very
Why
real out
is that
here.
a real thing?
It's very real out here. I
If
can
you,
tell you,
like,
man.
yeah,
Working in
I
the
don't know.
hospital, our worst days were like we would be sitting outside on a smoke break, and we work in dietary, so we're getting slammed with stuff. But really, the nurses, like the attitude of the nurses would just be off. And then all of a sudden, you would see a nurse look up at the sky and go, "Oh, that's fucking why." And you look up and there's a full moon. And you're like, wait, what does that mean? And then, like, you know, there was this one nurse, Candy, that was just like, full moon means chaos. Yeah, she called herself Candy.
You call that's what most
Yeah.
strippers.
Yep. Yeah, she was hot, too. I'm not even going to lie, dude. She was, like, really
you just
pretty.
never asked the backstory. She
Yeah.
had a whole cutscene planned.
But yeah, dude, the full moon thing is... the full moon thing is very real out here. Like, it's very, very real.
I don't know the science behind it. Doesn't it actually like pull on Earth a bit more when it's a full moon or something?
I just don't know what that has to do with...
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
what does
in
that
the
have to do?
desert, man.
Exactly. There's
We're
no ocean,
sensitive
so it
beings,
pulls on our
though. I'm
blood.
sure some kind of a
Yeah.
difference.
That and
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
the
That's
fact
fair.
that like it's a nice night out and we're next to the national park means I'm gonna go for a walk and get bit by a rattlesnake for fun. So-
Yeah, no, but even that though, like that's not. I'm talking about like, we would have people running through the halls of the hospital like without their gowns on, they're tearing their hair out. Like the full moon stuff was crazy out here, man. Like, and again, I wasn't even on the front lines of that stuff. I was.
Yeah, you have
you know?
no idea
Ugh.
the amount of people walking through the desert we find.
Yeah, werewolves. Fucking.
What do you have any like? Well, I'm sure you have thousands of stories, but do you like what's the one full moon story that sticks out to you? It doesn't even have to be full moon.
I don't know
but-
if it was a full moon.
Right.
What's your
I have no
heroic
idea.
action story? We
did
where
have a
did you
question
come
about
in
that.
as superhero Mr. Superman Adam?
Where
where's
were you,
your-
the A team?
Yes. What's up, Mr.
A
Instead
train,
of
baby.
Mr. T, it's Mr. A.
Yeah, Mr. A.
The
what happened?
real.
There's a few different avenues we could go with this. There's like the heroic trauma one where it's like, yeah, I actually saved their life. They were about to die kind of hero.
Uh-huh.
And then there's those calls, like there's one that always sticks with me. She was like 14 years old. And I think the mom called because she kept trying to take her own life because everything at school was
And
bad.
that's 5150 for
Right?
you guys too, right?
Yeah,
What's the code
absolutely.
that comes up? That's what it is.
Usually it can only be imposed by the sheriff or
Okay.
a doctor.
So
I
a
think.
welfare check would spawn that.
Or
essentially,
yeah, it could, or
kinda.
psychiatric emergency.
Yeah, dispatch
Right.
is usually pretty honest, if I'm not mistaken. Like with
It
the
really depends.
they-
I've been called to like CPR that was a stroke, and I've been called to the most mundane things. Like,
Yeah.
in assault, I've been called to an assault call, which was an assault, but it was like, you know, hit by a man or something. I was
Right.
like, oh, somebody got slapped.
That's
or
a
hit.
domestic.
No, she got her
yeah.
skull bashed in with a hammer. I would have liked to
Is
know
that is that the
before I got
gnarliest
there.
thing you've
Yeah.
ever seen, or
don't know.
is it that like? That's a lot.
It
I
is
don't
a
know,
lot.
how do you top that? What's worse?
Well, car accidents can be
What have
horrific.
you
Yeah.
gazed on
Yeah.
that's like a HEPA violation practically to even think about?
Dude? I mean, I don't have a story. You probably have a
Eli's
story.
already.
I
he's
was
like
yeah.
my body count is
No, no,
ready
no,
to
no,
be
no.
exposed.
Oh,
So I have
yeah.
my cousin Jeff though, who is now an Army paramedic. He actually just got out. So like, shout out to my cousin Jeff. Congratulations on getting out. But he was in for like he was in for a while.
Sounds
But
like
he
jail.
worked. Jeff and Jill, baby.
Incarcerated in the military.
He worked up in, and before he joined the Army, he worked up in Wonder Valley. He was working at the Wonder Valley station as a firefighter paramedic.
That is prison.
They used to get so many calls about people going out to through Amboy.
Oh yeah, that
things
highway
like
is
that. Yep.
dangerous.
And he said the worst thing that he ever saw, or like one of the things that stuck with him that he told me and it stuck with me, was that they had one where it was like a 19-year-old dude who was driving like a convertible through that Amboy area and hit some soft sand and like flipped.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, yeah, dude, we were doing we had finally gotten the car turned over. I mean, obviously, dude's like his head was folded behind the seat,
Yeah,
like the
it's-
whole thing. And they flipped, so they got the car back over, and on the dashboard, he could see claw marks. So like the dude was still alive while he was pinned under his car, and then just like pretty much suffocated on sand. Like that's
Yikes.
how That's how he went on. He was just like, bro, like I've never seen anything like that. Like I'm
Dude, I'm
yeah.
feeling such positive vibes.
It was
after that.
wild,
I'm like
man.
staring at my fucking cookies on my desk, like so hungry.
Bro, it was wild, man. When he told me that, I was like, oh my God. Like, because again, most dashboards, like when you think about the dashboard in your car, it's not a soft, like,
Dashboard science.
yeah.
Right.
It's not a soft thing. It's a very hard flat dashboard science. God damn it.
That was
But it's like, it's not, you know what I mean? So to be in such a situation where you're like that is just wild. And that was just like a Tuesday night for him. You know?
I
Like,
wonder what
it's
his
wild.
Wednesday was like.
right.
Hopefully therapy.
I can't, I've locked away so many things in this brain of mine that I couldn't even tell you. And it's really subjective at the same
Right.
way.
Right.
What's really bad for you guys might have just been like basic for me.
Tuesday night for you.
Right.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was definitely the one who got their head bashed in with a hammer. There was the one who got attacked with a sword. There was.
Did they live?
Was
That was one I
What
got-
kind of a sword? Did
I-
you see the sword?
I
Was it
assume
katana?
it was a sword because some of the slash marks on him were so precise and it split him open.
died.
Yeah.
Did this guy die?
Unless it was just like a very well, I guess a sword is a very big.
Did this
knife.
person
Yeah.
live?
Yeah,
Machete.
I actually got commended for this one. This is one of those heroic stories, right? So he had these cut marks all over him, blood, head to toe, right? He's basically on his knees in the street. So we get him into the back of the rig, and I'm on Sunburst Circle, I think, right? So I'm somewhere over there. And as you know, your local hospital is only 5 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
But if I take this guy there, sorry, he would have died.
Yeah.
Right? So I decided to drive this guy with an arterial bleed over a half an hour to a trauma receiving place, right?
Loma Linda or
Desert Regional.
Desert Regional,
Where
okay.
I got commended because they said my treatment was aggressive, it was right, and your choice to bring him here not only saved his arm, saved his life.
Right. Right.
So if I had taken that easy way out, if I followed the protocols, let's talk about those, right?
Right.
The protocol says a person with an arterial bleed, who's they're going to die pretty fast, needs to be taken to the closest hospital.
Which would be high desert.
But his artery that was injured was like in his armpit, so I couldn't tie it off, right? So it's kind of a risky move, but the way it was pricked, I guess, the blood was escaping into the tissues of the arm, which will then increase the pressure within your arm, within muscles until they die, right? Chances are, if I took them to high desert, they don't have the surgeon or anybody there who can go in.
Yeah, and especially
take care of
they
the
have
artery.
a surgeon on call that is also there's been a few, I don't know if it's still the case there or not, but there's been a few surgeons there that have not really done a great job. They had a really high infection rating for one of the surgeons they had there, so it's kind of known. I don't know if it's known in our area, but
I'm not saying the doctors are poor. I'm saying they don't have
the hospital
specialty
is
care.
poor. Yeah.
Yeah.
they're
So
not-
Yeah.
simply adding like 5
They don't have
words
any
onto that
specialists.
thing, or so closest hospital or most equipped
Or
facility.
the capable hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
Most
I
closest,
hate
most
that
equipped.
place is just really unclean. They I don't know. I was getting blood drawn and I got it everywhere.
I'm partial because I know the staff.
Yeah,
Right.
me too. That's how I feel too. I know a lot of the staff that works there, so
They
I'm always
also
just
know
like,
where you
I can
sleep.
imagine
so-
how
Yeah,
bad
they know where I
it
sleep.
was.
They know where I work.
right. Yeah, no, a lot of the staff there,
They know where to find me.
especially, dude. Honestly, the nurses are the ones that are doing the right thing there. It's the funding. They've since joined a union, which I hope is doing good things for them. It seems like they've made some upgrades. They joined the Desert Care Network.
They did.
So that's like something that was happening as I was exiting. So I had voted for the union. The union had passed, but the benefits didn't start kicking in, and I had left before they started kicking in.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I was there right when they joined the Desert Care Network. So again, I hope they're doing well. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, like with all hospitals in general, there are definitely some really bad hospitals out there. But, hospitals are one of those things, because just working in one for the time that I did, and you coming from the medical field too, I'm sure like it's the same. It's like you have to like, I don't know. I have such a big heart for nurses, dude, because like I realize that kind of universally nurses do a lot of the work and get the most shit for
everything. They're the hands and eyes
yeah.
of the doctor. That's how I like to see it,
right?
Right,
Exactly.
And thankfully, they're being allowed to have their own brain now.
Yeah.
Right, because it used to just be like the hands and eyes of the doctor, and the doctor's the brain of the whole thing.
And the doctor was usually a dick.
But now it's yeah, they're definitely on the front lines.
Yeah, man. So. Nurses, paramedics, like all of the like the medical field is so interesting because you have so many moving parts in it, and the ones who move the parts the most are the ones that are the least appreciated most of the time.
Well, by the public, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, by the public, no. Sorry.
No, but
like,
but normally by like the
appreciates them, but
the
everybody,
upper echelon in the medical field. Yeah. Because I remember, there was one particular doctor that worked at High Desert, and I won't say his name because he still might work there. But every time he would come in, the nurses would be like, just on edge. Like you could tell. Coming from dietary, I would go to drop off plates, and I would be like,
probably know who you're talking about.
I was like, you just sneered.
Yeah.
I see. You picturing a mustache.
There's a doctor that used to work there.
Exactly.
Where everybody that was working would become an asshole when this doctor was working because he was such an asshole that he just had that trick. It was like Reaganomics with him, dude. He would just trickle down the asshole. Reaganomics, baby. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, the Republican Party.
Yeah, that's how this dude was.
Politics.
That's how this dude was.
And
but with being a douche. And so then, like, he would trickle down just bad, negative energy. And so the whole hospital staff would be angry. I would go say hi to one of my nurses who was a friend, and they'd be like, fuck off. And it's like, whoa.
It's always from the top down,
yeah,
right?
dude. Like, so-and-so must be working today because you're acting like a real butthole.
Which is no excuse. You know, even when things are bad, you can be a decent human being. It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
But it's always from the top down,
always.
Right? If the management is poor, the management's in a bad mood, the workers are going to be in a bad mood.
Right. And it sucks in the medical field in particular because now we're talking about health and you know, prosperity on the line, like for a lot of these. Yeah, we're talking about lives on the line here. So it's like, you know, definitely dealing with, that's why, like, I think that things definitely need to change, but I also have no idea how in the medical, like the whole county by county thing, I think is a good start. Making it to where it's a little bit more broad.
Emergency care is so new. I think like the field only started in like the 70s.
Oh, no shit.
So there's a lot of growing. Well, not emergency care, like
hospitals,
right?
Sorry,
but
like
when the first Band-Aid was invented.
Yeah, Band-Aids were invented in the 70s.
CPR wasn't invented until like I don't know, 60 to 80 years ago. That's brand new too.
What?
Damn.
Yeah, it's.
How the fuck did people not realize that before?
You may need to fact check me on that, but I believe it was in like the early 1900s.
Wow.
Or even late 1900s.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Why did I imagine that was just like...
Before that, you just watched somebody die.
Age kind of...
What's happening again?
What did they even try to do? Like, that's my mindset.
Yeah, I know, but like, why would you... I feel like if someone's like choking in front of me or like not being able to breathe, I feel like I'd want to like push their chest down and help them, not just like watch Magikarp use Splash. Like,
that's really what you're doing.
Yeah,
they just
it's basically.
And them in the back and it just didn't work, you know. People lack the.
That must be like where all those stories.
Pat on the back.
That must be where all those stories come from. Like you see it in like movies and stuff, and they're like, someone will get mad and be like, "Come on!" and like punch him in the stomach. Yeah,
that's real. We actually can. Well, not in the stomach, but
no, but like,
if we witness somebody go into cardiac arrest, and it's like something we call VFib, right? We're actually allowed to just smack them in the chest.
That's crazy.
Because
what does that neurologically do?
Our force that we hit something with is energy, of course, which is joules, which is what we essentially do anyways, right? So it's just a little quick, like, hey, a jump start for the heart, I guess. Doesn't work. I don't know. I've never done it. Probably not very much. I think we're actually discouraged from doing it now.
Motley Crue's got a
but
whole
it's possible
about that.
What about
Kickstart my heart.
Oh.
No, it's not about CPR. It's actually about cocaine.
Yeah, it's about drugs.
Yes, it is about drugs. Yep.
I thought you were talking about.
And
the good news
song
is-
about Jules.
No,
Find me a
they have
Motley
a
Crue
song about
song,
kickstarting someone's
not
heart.
about drugs and whores, and I will be impressed.
In the 80s or just ever?
Motley Crue in general.
Oh, Motley Crue. Yeah, no, you're not
that's
going to find
happening.
it. Dr. Feel Good. Shout out to Motley Crue. Honestly, if there's any students of Mr. A's listening on this episode, check out Motley Crue. You guys are too young to really know.
As a grain of salt, mind you.
Yeah.
Careful.
Disclaimer.
Wow.
This did not come from your teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, don't
No,
check out Motley Crue.
Adam
Have you-
directly advises against most things associated.
Have you
in
seen?
that.
No. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Have you
Genre?
seen The Dirt, the Netflix biopic about Motley Crue?
No.
It's
Is that the
very
one
good.
with MGK?
Yes, it's very good. He
I
plays
guess we're
Tommy Lee.
figuring out Eli's a fangirl right now.
I did.
Yeah.
So first of all, it should be noted that I actually don't like their music. I'm actually not a fan of their music at all. I'm a fan of the story that they have for
Drugs and addiction?
for music in general. They, you're hard pressed to find a band in the '80s that wasn't doing wild and
Oh,
nefarious and
absolutely.
crazy shit. So Motley
You're hard pressed
Crue.
to find a band now that isn't doing some
Yeah,
stuff
for
like
sure.
that.
Period.
For
We
sure.
literally go to venues and people are like, the venue owners are like, it was crazy you guys didn't drink before your show. Everybody always
Yeah,
comes up.
that's
and,
true.
like,
I forgot about
the
that.
fact that we don't drink before shows.
Yeah.
Like,
So Travis and I might take a shot together
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
like
what,
literally when
for-
they're announcing our name, we'll take a shot together.
the entirety
And then we go on stage,
of
and that
our
was, like-
entire musical career playing shows together, which has been a lot of shows.
Yeah.
We've consumed a shot before 2 shows.
Yeah. And then after,
So, like,
we
aside from
usually
that,
get free
yeah,
drinks
but,
from
like-
wherever we're playing, so we'll have a drink together after.
But like,
But
yeah,
no, we don't do- and then we're back to the-
seriously,
the
it's
B&B.
so rare for anyone to even remotely be sober before they even play music, and I find
Yeah.
that so wildly offensive, especially if you're trying to take that as your job.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Oh my goodness,
we shared a
like,
green room
it's crazy.
with someone that I will not say on air. I can tell you afterwards. But there was a green room that we did, and it's not the guy that you're thinking of. There was somebody else that, remember how we had like 3 or 4 artists in the green room at a time? One of the groups had just some real bad stuff going on before their set.
It's like it's a group space. Can you
Yeah,
imagine
so
that?
like we're all sharing a green room because obviously we're not like headliners yet, so we don't get our own green
of
room.
course, yeah.
So we're sharing a green room with these guys, and they're doing a whole bunch of stuff. And then they went out on stage, and like I remember going and like kind of watching their set or just like kind of peeking because it was after we were done. It was like right after we had finished. So like I'm off for the night after that. Like we're gonna have, like I might have a drink and I might do that, but like I like to watch the other artists perform. That's like one of my favorite things to do is getting a green room, hanging out with my best friends beforehand, and then after we play our set, I like to go kind of like peek around and see like what the other artists are about. And I just remember, like, it seemed like, I don't know, it just seemed like they were off. You know what I mean? It seemed like their set and we
On
were
the heroin time?
no.
Nah,
No, it
I
was-
mean,
they just seemed like-
just as bad. Just as bad.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
just
The
they were too hype.
It's just
And
I
just-
just really,
yeah, too
I
ahead
just
of themselves.
Don't appreciate when people are not coherent when they're
Yeah.
trying to do something. Like,
That's what that's a
Especially
good
if
way to
you're
put it.
gonna
They
live-
weren't coherent.
if you
Like,
live an alternative lifestyle, live it well and sober. Period. Like, because you're immediately stepping in as a role model for X, Y, and Z person who randomly has followed you
yeah.
or whatever.
Absolutely.
And then they're gonna see you be a fucking idiot and then drink before you go on stage, and it's just like,
Yeah. There's just no
why?
good.
Why?
Yeah.
Why are you impacting the world that way? Like,
Right.
that's just not right.
I've never seen it work out well.
No, and
You
everyone,
know what I mean?
everyone to like, even if later on in your life the public eye gets on you, you're going to impact people, so you may as well.
Kids
like,
look at that and think of success.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying,
exactly,
like-
and that's so crucial that like even artists now and aspiring artists like kind of realize that like the stuff you post online and stuff, like just be mindful
Right.
in your whole approach and like use love there and like love yourself and fucking not destroy your body. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like it sucks watching other talented musicians to fucking
And really
do
cool guys
that,
too.
and
They were like
then-
the coolest
yeah,
guys
it-
before that stuff got whipped out. And then that stuff got whipped out, and we were just like,
crazy
oh man.
fights started breaking out. and
Yeah,
stuff. So
just
it was
stupid
like
stuff.
you just watch people do things that you wouldn't do, and then you watch them degrade into, you clearly were at your best and then weren't there anymore. So it's just like, I really appreciated where you were at, man. So.
Yeah, it's, you know, if we think about it in like a psychological way, not like a scientific way. I'm not a scientist for this, right? But doing those drugs release the dopamine in your brain. Right. And it probably gives them a sense of, holy shit, I'm doing so fucking good.
Yeah.
I sound great. I'm
feeling this.
I feel
it's
good.
Synthetic triumph.
Other people must feel how good I feel right now. Right? And that's unhealthy.
Yeah. No, straight up.
Being on stage is about...
That's my issue with music scene.
Curating a vibe.
Right.
You're like, building an entire, like...
You literally change the air in the
room.
You're
participating in a unifying action.
Yeah.
Right.
Period.
100%.
Like, that's what you're doing.
That's, I think that's the draw, you know? I think that's why anybody who wants to get on stage and share art with people, it's
which, by the way, Adam is an excellent DJ.
Which
he's
is
too humble.
Yeah, this is why
his own good.
This is why I'm segueing into this part right now, because I didn't want this whole episode to just be about you as an EMT and as a teacher. I wanted this episode to also give a little bit of like recognition to you as an artist as well, because, you know, anybody who's listening, hopefully your students who listen to this episode go back and listen to some of our other episodes, because the entire podcast is really about Travis and I as musicians and as artists, and we're just interviewing the people that are a part of our lives and around us that have either helped us contribute to the art that we make, or have supported the art that we made and are continuing to make,
and like are just like super going
right, and then being artists
like,
themselves, which is like, you know, that you checked all of those boxes, where it's like you've supported our music, you've been you know, we've had plenty of conversations about the medical field stuff and all of that stuff, but then also on the other side of that, like how I met you was actually as an artist. I didn't meet you as the paramedic.
Yeah, I met
teacher.
You through music.
Yeah, like music was kind of the key.
Shout out 𝙿𝚊𝚗𝚡.
Yeah, I know.
Love
𝙿𝚊𝚗𝚡 is
Love
the
that
origin of my entire...
The orange. The orange origin.
Yeah.
The orange origin.
Yeah, no, seriously. Everything spawns back to when I needed to pee.
Sick reference. The spawned one.
The spawned one.
The spawned one. Follow him on Instagram and then call him a ginger.
Affectionately called by
everyone
me.
do it. Anyone who follows 𝙿𝚊𝚗𝚡,
I'll give you a high five at school.
The spawned one.
At the spawned
on
one.
Instagram and messages him.
And call him the Ginger Ninja.
Yep. Just
the ginger
call him
ninja.
a ginger. And then you'll get a free concert ticket and
we'll send you a podcast sticker.
We'll get you merch.
We'll make up. Yeah, we'll get you some stuff. Dude, seriously, man, like and you know what? Steven is actually a good example of that, because Steven is that dude that Travis and I have known since high school. And he ended up going into the paramedic field, going into the EMT field. He's crushing it in the game right now. He's doing everything right.
His dream job.
But he's
since
also
he was, like, kindergarten.
I remember when he was
so
brand new.
supportive.
I worked there before him, and
Right.
actually I was a paramedic, and he was my partner.
Oh, dude, he's the best, man.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't have asked for a better partner, because he's really, really down to earth, really, really chill, but then also a great paramedic. He's one of those guys that when I was referencing about having people surrounded that support our art, you know, Steven was there at the bare bones of Travis and I forming a band. Like when we had gotten fresh out of high school and we were starting to hang out and we started playing music together, Steven was there. When we would party too hard and have a rough night, you know, Steven would come over and help us out.
Fix
you know,
us.
and fix us.
I've heard the stories.
Yeah, he's the best.
He was literally
driving
my
his
entire
Ford
life
up
since
the grade.
kindergarten. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's your
Ford
best friend from
Taurus.
kindergarten.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. He was my first friend, and I met him because I had to urinate in kindergarten.
That's a very Travis story.
It really is. I had to pee and didn't ask the teacher, and was.
So you asked Steven?
Yeah, I was autistic, and I ended up having Steven.
Like you say was like it's a past tense.
Yeah, I was. I grew right out of my
call
autism.
that out, but I was like, I'll let him have it.
Yeah, that's.
I won't. I won't.
You shouldn't. It doesn't go away, kids. Don't listen to him.
What do you mean? No one's ever said that autism.
I know.
Anyways,
It's just a phase.
yeah,
it's
no,
a
but that's
phase.
great though, because even at a very young age, Steven was like
He's
there to help.
Yeah, no,
Like,
seriously.
dude,
I
Steven's
don't
the
know
best.
if I
Shout out to Steven
alive
Savickle, man.
at this point.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't have met Adam or lived to the point where I could meet you without Steven. So like it's super.
Yeah, we would have never crossed paths.
No.
There's nothing we do that's the same.
Nothing at all except for like on parallel paths doing music. Like that was just like because we were at his bachelor party and then you Shazammed my music. I was like,
Yeah.
what did you just like Shazam?
Yeah. I was like, I want to put this on a list of the worst shit I've ever heard.
Exactly. It was called Yikes, and for good reason.
Yeah.
It's
I
since
put this
gone.
on the congratulations. This fucking sucks.
I need to
list.
show my friends this because
Yeah.
Time
my
to
God.
like put this in a garbage can.
So, yeah, let's dive in a little bit about your musical background, and then we'll field a couple more questions from your students.
Okay.
But like with your musical background, when did DJing and when did that stuff kind of start for you? Was it more of a hobby, or was this something that you were always kind of just?
It was kind of a COVID thing. I was getting
Oh.
into electronic dance music
Uh-huh.
and dubstep. And that word doesn't even encompass the sounds I listen to.
Right.
Travis is very well aware of the music I listen to. That's the reason why I don't DJ for my kids yet. They really want me to. I'm like, you need to have a stable mind to listen to a set by me.
Yeah.
I always try to explain to them, it's not like, for me, it's not the danceability. Sure, there's times where
No, you're melting
we're gonna
faces
turn the
out
fuck
there,
up.
bud.
But also, I'm making you look inside your own brain.
Right.
Like, you're gonna sit there and be like, "Who the fuck am I?"
Right.
And then I'll be like, "Well, this is who the fuck I am," and
Right.
rip your face off.
Right.
But
Yeah, your music goes hard, dude. That one. But it's kind of a funny story because we ended up leaving that backyard show that we all did together.
Yeah.
Dude, I've never seen someone like, what was it? You had like 127 tracks that you had like melded in.
Oh yeah,
in like a
you were
20-minute
caught
time
so
frame.
far off because so Adam plays, so we throw private shows and Adam plays the backtracks for our shows because we used to DJ when COVID started because he would write electronic music with me, and we would do the whole rave scene like that. So, he immediately within 4 hours of getting a DJ deck got better than me, which is great because I've been playing music for 23 years. 24 as of a couple days ago. I'm
Happy birthday, Travis.
29 now.
I forgot to announce that at the beginning of the podcast.
Wait, did I miss your birthday?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Oh shit!
I've tried to miss my birthday.
Yeah, he tried to miss it too. We wouldn't let him.
Yeah, I didn't say happy birthday because I know you.
That's
hate
okay.
it.
We can do it now because on the podcast we haven't
Are we
announced
singing
it
to
yet.
Travis right now?
We don't have. We can. Do you want to?
I'll auto-tune you, don't worry.
Birthday
I'm just kidding. That's a
Um,
lie.
No, so Travis just celebrated his 29th birthday, and I want the audience to recognize it. So, Travis, happy birthday as of
Happy
recently. I'm
birthday.
sorry that we didn't bring it up the day of, but also we didn't do an episode the day of, so that's
No.
fine.
Yeah, I hid from the world.
Yeah, which is exactly what you
I
should do
needed
when you
to
turn
sit
29.
Imagine when he turns 30.
I'm gonna, dude.
Well, we're gonna get.
I made
wild.
wild plans for when I'm 30.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I'm
get
gonna
wild.
sit in my bed, and okay. Check this.
I already like
fucking-
where this is going.
This
I
is
wanna hear
a
it.
fucking ripper.
I want to hear it.
So
Ripper.
I'm gonna sit in my bed right fucking here,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm gonna read a book
Holy shit!
until I go to sleep.
Wait. You know how to read?
I have read a book before.
Is this for the whole day?
Yeah, it's a
The whole
picture
day.
book. It's a picture book.
It's a pop-up book.
They have like 4 words on the bottom. But anyways,
Yeah, so getting back to that one show though, we played this backyard show with Adam, and we ended up leaving the show because it was it wasn't even a show. It was like a party. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we ended up leaving the party because it was whack. Everybody there was just too. We shouldn't have been. Any of us shouldn't have. Other than you though, because you were when you were DJing, people were going
that's the
hard.
thing. Yeah, you had a completely
By the time we got on-
out-of-pocket situation.
Yeah, by the
Yeah.
time we got on, people were like, "What the fuck is this
And,
lo-fi?"
You live,
Yeah.
you live in the experimental bass music realm,
Mhm.
and that's where your like true craft of sets come in. And like, I know you've delved into house music before, as far as like that kind of set stuff goes because I'm a house head, and then the fact that you were equipped with one of my random house playlists.
Never heard any of the songs.
Never heard them. And like I hadn't heard those songs in a while, so I was giving you random bones to go on, and like the picky crowd that ended up kicking us off because we stopped playing Adam's house set. That's literally why we were asked to leave, is because we had hip hop acts playing, and then Adam's playing house music,
which
that
I loathe.
He fucking hates it, but mixes it really, really well. So like, oh yeah, that also brings into the opportunity. We're gonna be doing all ages shows up here. So like I'm probably gonna, a few days before the deadline, purposely spring it on you with another flyer and put your name on it.
I'll freestyle a set.
Yeah, exactly. That's usually the way that Adam does it. Is I'll text him 2 days before the show, and then all of a sudden, a wizard appears in his room and instructs him over the hours of 12 p.m. to 1 a.m. over the course of 3 days before he gets to the show, and then he whips out all of our backtracks, does that perfect, and then plays the sets, which is, it sounds like nothing because it's button pushing, quote quote,
and knob turning.
It really is only button pushing and knob turning, and every single fucking person that I've hired before to do that has completely and utterly either not shown up, failed, and like it's just been just the sheer consistency of your work, and then like the fact that I get kicked off the stage, like literally I didn't even get to go on stage because your set was good. Yeah, that was a whole bag. I was like, dang.
Yeah, put the sound guy back on.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
that was my job.
That was a whole turn. I totally did not expect anything like as far as like that to go that way. So like we're gonna be having all age shows where your students will actually be able to show up.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and then because we're gonna have a venue in Joshua Tree, so there will be a location in Joshua Tree that's like safe and friendly for an all age environment, and then we'll be able to do our shows that we normally throw privately at the speakeasies into like normal people hours from like 6 to 10 or something, to where like kids can show up, because our stuff really excludes a lot because we play at clinics and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's sectional.
The crowd with the biggest hold on a career is children,
dude, and like our target audience is college kids and high school kids, because like the lyrics are like real and supposed to prep you for the world and like the realities that you face and like struggles that you can see, I guess.
I mean, it's the way I view it is like, if something becomes popular within a school, like that's like 2,500 kids you just reached,
and then
they're gonna go home and share it.
Yeah, has that hangout while they're playing Xbox or something. Yeah,
like that's a huge crowd because they post everything online.
Yeah, seriously. That's what I really like about like Gen Z and stuff, like the use of media for
they're pretty good at it.
Yeah, the use of media for like healthier means instead of like millennials fucking suck at media. They're stuck on Facebook and then misinformation.
Let's be honest. I mean, our memes were shit growing up.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden, fresh heads get in the game, and then memes got funny all of a sudden. It's just like, oh, okay, thank you for not existing in MySpace. HTML crippled us. So.
Yo, MySpace was lit, dude.
MySpace, man.
HTML4, brother.
HTML.
That's pre the 2009 kids. If you don't know,
like
HTML
your own profile.
HTML5 is out right now for you little coders,
dude.
For you relics out there, HTML4 survivors, please, please hang in there.
Is it fair to say that because I customized my own MySpace profile that I too am a coder?
Yeah.
You too are a what is it called? An elder emo.
That seems fair.
HTML is scripting, right? So I don't know if I can call you a coder.
Whoa! Wow. Okay.
Elder emo is the perfect.
Yeah, is HTML coding? I don't know.
I don't know.
It was listed. It was listed under my coding classes.
It's not, the way I view it is it's not really like
Mine was all copy and
algorithmic,
paste, by the way.
right?
Yeah, I didn't.
You quite
create...
literally type what you want to be on the web page. There's no back end.
Yeah.
True.
I would
yeah.
copy,
Until you start
I didn't even
dealing
do
with,
that.
like,
I would copy
server-side
other
stuff,
people's.
but that's
server
completely
side
different
stuff,
language.
and then and then you're dealing with like
I would
sharps,
download
pluses and stuff.
Yeah.
I would download other people's profile templates. Like that's how you did it on MySpace. You would go like,
Me too.
oh, cool,
I did
MySpace.
the same thing.
You would do that, and you copy and paste it, and then you would like put in the profile where the song on your profile is going to be. You used to have, this is going to be a good throwback.
Finals
I think
that way
mine
in
had
college.
a Lil Wayne
about right.
song when you opened it.
Dude, I had Avenged Sevenfold.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You had Lil Wayne.
I
had
don't know
Avenged
why, man.
Sevenfold.
Attack exists.
Yeah.
Mine. Oh,
I used to have like the
I
skull
never
and
had an emo
crossbones like
phase.
dripping down my
Dude,
page.
I had red grenades on a black background.
I mean, I've been an Avenged fan
rad.
since like 20.
Oh yeah, and also you play guitar
2009.
too. That's like a
Loosely.
seldom known fact that
Yeah.
you play a little guitar and
I can
you
strum
play
a few chords.
a little bit well. So like
that's cool.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's
he
cool. I didn't know you
actually
played
plays
guitar. Yep.
a little bit of guitar.
An inch wide
well.
and a mile deep.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah, no, it's actually like what he does know how to play is like well practiced.
That's cool.
Yeah, it trips me out.
What's
You
some of the
and
stuff that you
Rican,
like to
yeah.
play on guitar?
I think the thing I play most is the acoustic solo from So Far Away.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
The
Yeah.
thing is like he's just as into
Did
it
you
as
prep
you.
him on that question?
No,
Did you prep him
this
on
is
that
the
question?
Thing. Yeah, no, seriously. That's why I was like trying to get you guys to meet up because yeah,
never feel for
yeah, I priced
anything.
out guitars for him, and then he wanted the.
That's my
Sinister
favorite band
Gates
of all time.
Schecter is
Yep.
like
Hell
the
yeah.
one
That
that
is-
I'm forcing him to get.
That is
like-
my favorite band of all time. For the kids that don't know, look up Avenged Sevenfold, man. You might like what
the
you
White
see.
Album.
Dude,
The White Album.
It's the greatest
self-
single album ever
Yeah.
written. Like the self-titled White Album is the greatest, in my opinion, at least in our generation. I won't say it's the greatest
It's
of all time.
cohesive as fuck.
But dude, the Avenged Sevenfold, in my opinion, we're going on the Avenged Sevenfold trip. Avenged Sevenfold, in my opinion, is the most.
Was there an option?
No, not when it was
Not
brought
with
up.
you both in
Yeah,
the
not with us both in the room. In my opinion, Avenged Sevenfold is the most like influential band of our generation. I think
It influenced me a lot.
Dude, I
their
think-
unique sound.
they just have so many different influences. They
Yeah.
have
Them and Motionless in White
Don't-
were huge.
Yeah.
to,
Like, all the bodies
influencing
of
me
work.
musically.
yeah.
For Avenged don't sound the same.
And they
No,
keep
that's
exactly
what's
they keep
beautiful about
evolving.
it.
Yeah.
The
You can
dynamic between albums
Right.
is progressive.
you can listen to
Like,
Sounding the
that's rare.
Seventh Trumpet, which is their first album, and then listen to The Stage, which is their latest album, and then you can listen to everything in between and realize that none of it sounds the same.
Yeah.
That as musicians, and that's what makes them the most influential for me, is that, like, first of all, I was a fan from 2002. My first CD that I
Wake in the
bought with
Fallen
my
era?
Yep, the first CD that I bought with my own money was Wake in the Fallen. I was in second grade. Yeah,
That was my alarm clock.
Yep.
I mean,
Really?
like, talk about you just like
Subtle
you
way to wake
are
up.
awake. Yeah, seriously, because it like is like those weird horns.
Yeah.
And it phases in so slowly to where like it brings you out of your dream in the most hauntingly terrifying
Yeah.
Oh
way.
yeah.
Dude, and again, a lot of people
The
view them
Unholy
as like
Ghosts.
just a metal band,
Oof.
but when you listen to them, and they are absolutely a metal
I can
band.
play that song. Oh my god, is it good?
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I don't think I would have gotten into music.
Me neither. I bought a
without
guitar
Avenged
because of
Sevenfold.
Gates.
Yeah, I got into the drums because of the rep. Like, he's literally tattooed on my back, and I have forever like, I got the Gates tattoo
Yeah.
across my chest. And it's like, and again, influence and saying that their most influential band is obviously subjective. But when you can almost talk to anybody from any different music scene, and they've heard of them.
Heard of them.
And like even with
Seldomly liked, which is a
That's-
little weird to me.
it's
I don't
the-
even like them all the way.
You know,
but
it's
I
the-
love them.
That's what's great about them.
Yeah.
Is they're
no,
so
it's a cult.
themselves. They're
Yeah.
not trying
Like-
to please you.
Nope.
Yeah.
They're playing
It's
the
like
music that they
Tool.
like to play.
Yeah.
in
Yep.
a lot of respects, it's like Tool, to where like it's like an independent craft.
It's an
where
acquired
like,
taste. Yeah. And man, I'm telling you what, dude, there is not a better duo on guitar than Sinister Gates and Zachy
Oh,
Evans.
yeah.
It just, and then there is not
They're
a better there's not a better bassist to accent those two than Johnny Christ. Like, there's just not.
That guy's a character.
You can, and the M Shadows thing, because the most common thing that I hear is like, oh, dude, their music is so sick, but I don't like their vocalist. And it's like, okay,
I don't
but you also have to understand how fucking talented
His
that
range
guy is.
is insane.
He
His
used to be
his
really,
lyrics
really
are
good, but that's
insane.
why I like Avenged Sevenfold, because like they grew. Like you
Yeah.
can
Oh, yeah.
hear the raw
You hear them
thrash
grow
from
up.
their first EP
When they're
the
18.
demo,
Right.
Yeah.
and then like
Yeah.
you hear the musical talent kick in, where you get actual compositions of 26 pieces plus,
Right.
and then you hear anger and sadness kind of fizzle off into like, okay, well, this is
Optimism
life,
almost.
and then it's
Yeah.
grief, and then further development where they reach like astral planes of existence because their
Exactly.
friend
Yep.
has died.
Yep.
So it's
Yeah.
like, thank you for being introspective and growing and incorporating new instruments, aka synthesizers,
Right.
samples, and stuff, which is normally frequented in
I
our
love it
rave
when they
scene.
use horns.
Yeah,
Dude, I love-
all their brass sections are
Yeah,
nice.
Dude,
wow.
they have complete orchestras on their songs. Like, there's a song, Dear God has a fucking banjo in it.
Yeah,
Dude,
It's
and
like,
I think
what metal
is
band
that
is
song
using
you showed
banjos?
me?
hell if I know. I've showed you a lot of
No,
songs.
that we were laying on
By
Justin's
Avenged?
floor. And
By
then-
Avenged.
Yep, it was by Avenged. It's like 13 fucking minutes.
That's
Exists.
Existence.
Exists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a
no,
masterpiece.
that is the greatest
Yep.
song composed in the last 100 years. I think.
It
Dude,
is
it's
fantastic.
so
At
goddamn
least
good.
like the dynamic, the synthesis on it is like beyond perfect. There's like Pink Floyd elements. There's atmospheric stuff. There's like progressions through
That
like
whole record is like that.
yeah,
The
and
stage
then,
is
and then
just
there's
so
there's like
beautiful.
melodic questions that get answered, or melodic questions that get asked in emotion and then get answered in facts at the end.
Yeah.
So like it's crazy that you're asking, instead of a melodic question that's answered in melody and resolved in chords, you're asking questions in chords and emotions, and it's resolved in a speech and facts at the end.
Yeah.
Which is like an insane tie together for
It
me.
really says a lot for me, like, and this is going to be a bit of a stab at, certain people. Like, how can you not appreciate
Exactly.
the,
You don't have to like them, but you
Artistry.
gotta respect them.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to
like,
respect
the
who
fact
they
that you
are.
can't wrap your head around that? Why do I want your opinion on what you listen to?
Right.
Right? You
Like,
can't be
Andy Warhol
open-minded.
is a thing unto his own, and that's why he's a thing.
Yeah.
So,
Dude,
same difference.
Avenged is one of those bands, man, that they just, especially as someone who got into them at a very young age, I feel like I grew up, like, in a way with them. Like, when I started getting into music and I started doing stuff, the stuff that I wanted to play when I first started
They
playing
grew
music.
with our emotional states
Yeah.
for the age we were.
I got into them
Exactly.
through Guitar Hero. Or Rock Band, maybe. I think Afterlife was on it.
That's how I got
Afterlife was
into
on there,
AFI.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's AFI.
AFI was like my
Miss
shit on
Monochrono.
it.
I'm telling you guys, we grew
What was
up.
your guys' difficulty?
I
For guitar?
always,
You did
guitar
hard, I
drums.
think. I wasn't
Guitar,
an
drums,
expert
and bass.
guy.
What was your difficulties? What's
It's
going on?
usually hard across the board.
Get the fuck out.
Okay,
Even on
yeah.
No
drums.
expert.
So
No
I had
expert?
I had
No,
expert
not
on
really.
I hit expert on drums, but not all songs on Guitar Hero. So like I
Okay,
wasn't
well,
doing
yeah,
Through the Fire
they
and the
have
Flames.
fucking Bullet for
Like,
My
yeah,
Valentine
yeah.
and shit.
So I wasn't doing, but I could hit expert on a lot of the drum stuff. The farthest I got in expert on the drums was that fucking Rammstein song that they had. Dun, 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 dun. 𝙿𝚾𝚳 𝚤𝚗.
Oh, Mein Teil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had that one, and then I think I could do all the Avenged stuff on expert on the drums, but then okay, so here's how that translated though. When I got on a real drum set, and you realize that you're like actually behind it, like I wasn't playing Avenged stuff.
Oh,
like,
hell no.
On the guitar,
Yeah.
I only got as
Yeah,
far as
that's Guitar Hero is exactly why I started playing guitar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I progressed all the way through expert on bass, which I found easy, and I was like, okay, well, I can kind of get the rhythm down since I suck at fucking guitar. I couldn't even do the easy part.
And then bass in real
Yeah.
life.
I
which is
didn't.
easy.
Know,
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, really. Though,
No,
because like
It's
I
not.
went
It's
all
he's
not
the
not
at
joking, dude. He's not. For him, it's fucking
it's
super
really
easy.
honestly easy.
Like-
if you are a masochist, bass is easy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
'Cause your hands
that's
hurt.
plain and simple. If
That's
you
insane.
enjoy
Being sore and stiff
masochism,
in your forearm,
you're fine. Yeah, seriously, because like you just get quickly addicted to that like constant tense feeling, and then
Being a
like,
drummer must be the same. Your calves
Yeah,
at
I was
first.
gonna say.
That's kind of a masochist thing.
My hands, like both of my hands hurt.
Calves
yeah,
are just quick with
calves.
technique.
Yeah,
Yeah,
calves
I
are like
see.
because you can do heel toe.
Yeah,
So you can kind of bounce on your foot with that. My hands hurt, especially because the more into it you get, the more you're like the less accurate you're gonna be.
Oh,
so
of
if I'm
course.
rocking out like
Yeah.
I'm rim shotting,
Yeah, you've gotten a lot
Quite
better
enough.
at keeping
in the
your-
pocket. Yeah, drums. So my hands hurt. And then, dude, honestly, like, there's nothing worse than catching a rim shot, like, on the inside of the stick. Like, I broke
there's
the
nothing
stick.
worse than dropping your stick. You're saying?
Yeah.
Dropping
No,
your
dude,
stick
that's-
during live
yeah.
performance, which I said I was not gonna forget.
Yeah. And
Okay.
you haven't.
I
to
have
your
not
credit.
forget.
Yeah,
I
you
will
have
not forget.
forgotten.
These are gonna be my dying
I remember
words.
him saying he won't forget the Instagram
It's
story.
gonna happen, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you were there at the show that it happened at, because that was at the ranch, wasn't it?
That
I
was our
wasn't
first
there.
show. That was
Oh, that was the skate park. That was the skate park
What the
show.
fuck date is it?
Wasn't it a recent
27th,
one?
August
No,
27th
I
of last
did.
year.
So I fell off the stage at the ranch.
Oh, you yourself fell off
yeah,
the stage.
I fell
That's
off
right.
the stage and dropped
Not
stick
the
at the ranch.
drumstick.
No.
He's in a really shitty situation because he sits on stool and holds wood.
Thank you, Travis. That joke never gets old. No, yeah, but our first show ever. Yeah, that's right. Our first show ever that we did at that skate park.
We
or
fucking
skate warehouse.
bombed it too.
It
It was
actually-
terrible. It was
That's your
terrible.
rite of
Yeah.
passage.
We had 8 days to prepare. I'd never heard AJ's music. I still haven't heard all of AJ's music.
No.
I haven't even clicked through every single one.
Yeah,
of his
no, he
albums.
knows what he plays.
I literally know the songs that I've played and then written ones on top of that. It's literally been sheer progress.
Which,
Which
by
is
the way,
like-
September 1st, we will be debuting some of those songs.
Wait,
On
what?
stage.
on stage.
The new album.
I was
Yeah,
like,
the
I
stuff-
was
the
like,
new
are
stuff
we
that we
releasing another
No,
album?
no.
Yeah.
The
It's all
new
recorded
stuff that
already without you.
Yeah.
Oh, I have music to show you. You're gonna be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have
wow,
some stuff
I
to show you off air.
we have like,
Techno metal. That's what I expect to come out of you next.
That's a good expectation.
Fine.
wow.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's very, yeah. You're pretty
Okay,
dead on.
You're fucking
Yeah.
dead on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
no.
There's a little bit, so it's like techno metal, but then
Techno
also
metal,
like
dubstep, doo-wop, fusion,
Doo-wop is, like, the
jazz.
I
big
love me
one.
a good doo-wop.
doo-wop.
Doo-wop,
Yeah.
and then I got.
We take
I
the
got
speakeasy name very
trance.
seriously.
I
Like,
got psytrance in there.
Psytrance is the sound of hell.
I got D&B.
Yeah.
Don't
Ooh.
worry, the psytrance.
I love drum and bass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah,
D&B
drum and
is gonna
bass
be-
is in there.
Yeah.
I have a World War II speech one.
Yeah,
I'll
we've
show
been
you.
Nice.
working.
Cool,
Travis
yeah.
in particular, but then I helped.
Travis never sleeps.
Yeah, I helped. But yeah, we have a couple of different albums coming out, and we have so we have a lot of songs that we're sitting on right now, and then we're going to make albums worth of work off of those songs. Like it's a very interesting.
That's usually the
concept.
way it works.
Yeah.
Right? You have like 24 songs, and you're like, well, you know, I'm going to release a single. And
Ours is
Yeah,
a
we,
little-
we have like a catalog of about 30 songs right
Yeah,
Yeah, that's-
we're getting
you know,
there.
singles and 2 15-song albums if you want to go that deep.
Right. Yeah. No, we're
now. That's
we've-
about what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like we're gonna start with a 4-song EP, and then we were like, nope, one more, nope, one more, nope, one more, and then scrapped the whole fucking list, and then wrote down more.
You guys
and
need to
then-
put skits in your album.
that's a good idea.
skits.
Yeah.
Like do like little like how we do.
Yeah, that it can kind of continue the story throughout the album, like
Yeah.
the Eminem style, you know?
Whoa, that's interesting.
Meet Eddie.
Yeah. Meet
24
Eddie.
years
Yeah.
old.
Wow, that's an
Um,
interesting concept.
yeah,
Kind
no,
of-
that's,
we should break in our albums personally.
Yeah.
A certain like musical fourth wall.
Yeah, it can
Because
be
I wanted
because
to,
a
like-
lot of his songs he writes, I feel like, are about particularly young men going through a rough time.
Oh, you're
Right.
talking about the Mike Craftsman and the Speakeasy stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking about like the Speakeasy stuff. We have
Oh.
we
Yeah,
have
so,
a
like,
couple
I
of
wanna-
I
we're-
see. Oh,
we're
yeah,
working on
Speakeasy song.
Yes.
Yeah, we're working
Oh.
on 3.
We're working on
personal
3 different
right now.
albums.
Oh, I
Um,
thought okay, yeah.
They're all tied together to where I have a
Now
set
Mike
of
Craftsman will
samples.
be heavily involved.
Oh yeah,
with
and
these
he's going to be
albums.
on.
He's
a
going to be
lot
on all of them.
the
But
tracks, yeah.
when we released The Drowning, we released it on the Speakeasy page and on Mike Craftsman's page, and so we were like, well, we don't want just like. What's the best way to put it? Like we don't want to just have The Drowning be the only thing that's on the Speakeasy
Yeah,
page
because
right
I've
now.
had multiple music projects with like 50
Yeah.
plus songs.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay,
So,
cool. Let's
like-
start like now because again AJ's like Mike Craftsman's music catalog is huge.
Yeah, and
So
we're
you-
trying to bring more to the table. And like,
Yeah, so we're just trying to
with,
show like
with the spawn of this project, like I scrubbed all the old Speakeasy stuff.
yeah.
And
because
that's on
you can
old
go
page
on
and stuff,
Spotify.
yeah.
You can go on Spotify or Apple Music, and if you go to Mike Craftsman's page, it's not just the Drowning that's on there because he's been at it for so long, and he's
Yeah.
been. So we were like, well, dude, let's
so,
put
like,
some albums
our
out too.
personal
Like,
pages that we've had in the past is the Dr. Buttons one, the Speakeasy one.
Right.
There's this one just called Speakeasy, which has the house music on it, and then stuff like that. That's where that all came from, honestly.
yeah. So the Speakeasy is actually going to be releasing our own album. We got to figure out what we're going to call it.
Yeah,
but
so
we're
the
gonna
albums
release
are
it.
3 different genres. So we have a metal dubstep one, and so each of the songs is from a different generation. So when speakeasies were prominent, so from 1920 to 1970.
Yeah.
So each of the songs is dedicated to like one or more of those
One era of music, like a decade of
and
music.
uses samples that mirror and reflect that time or are directly from that time. And then we have those samples inlaid in each song. And then for each album, we have one metal dubstep one, which uses the same samples as one lo-fi one. So we have a black album, which is the metal one. And then the white album, which is a like beatnik lo-fi one, which is like smooth 1920s lo-fi.
The Bear Grylls tactic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have a merged one to where we have fusion tracks of metal and
the
lo-fi,
yeah.
where we feature our supported artists.
I
where
see.
I was gonna hit you up probably right now,
I'll make some womp womps.
and then I have a track to send you.
Yeah, so we have a white, a black, and a gray album. And the gray album is going to be the
Do
one
you have
where
a
we
flash drive,
like-
or do you need to borrow one?
I don't have one with me.
We'll
no.
see, dude, we'll send you
I
one
left
with
one of
ours.
mine here. So
That's gone.
yeah,
that belongs.
I had my
to
set
hell
on it.
no.
I need to get my
I'll
set
find
off
it.
your laptop.
It's
so
fine, I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have the Speakeasy is going to be.
So Adam's going to be
some good
on
music.
those albums. I think
For sure.
on 2 of them. He's not a rapper yet. We have yet to convince him.
Yeah. We'll
I
get
don't
him
need
there.
to be convinced.
Everyone in school should tell Adam to spit freestyles.
Yeah.
Lunchtime cipher.
So, wow.
He's already got a name for it.
He's
been thinking
ready,
about it.
dude.
That's
he
a Hobson
knows.
song.
Yeah,
I can't take that. Can't take credit.
I
I
thought
didn't
know
you
that.
knew about ciphers and shit. I was like, wow, this is
Are
news.
we out of questions? Do we have like not questions in general? I mean the questions that his students ask because I want to make
we
sure that we
have
get to all of
more.
them.
There's plenty.
Okay, cool. But yeah, we don't have to get to all of them, but I wanted to make sure that we at least get to some
They
of them.
ask me enough
Oh,
questions.
Okay, this one's
have
funny.
your
Here we go. We
about your
gotta-
terrible
yeah.
students.
Yeah. So, who's your favorite past student, and why is it 𝙿𝚾𝚳, Maya, and Drake?
You said
You taught Drake?
yeah.
You taught Drake like the Canadian dude from Degrassi?
Exactly.
Oh my
taught Drizzy.
God!
That's
It's Drizzy
great.
Draco. Holy shit,
I'm really
man!
surprised
What was
you
that
said
like?
their names right, because I couldn't pronounce their names.
I got a weird
That's
name.
rude.
I got a weird
First
name, so
try
I always
for
try.
Eli.
Yeah, that
Mr.
was nice.
E is now taking
Yeah.
over.
Jakin?
I was like Jackin.
Jackin.
Jacking it, jaggedy jack. So okay, yeah, who is your past favorite student? If you even feel like answering that, if you
I
even
can
have
tell
one.
you why they
He
weren't
actually
my
fucking hated
favorites.
you all.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, let's clear the air, right? No, they're great. They're great kids. There really hasn't been any students I hate, and I think it just comes from my chillness, right? There's not much that gets under my skin.
right. Let
So
alone a fucking 15-year-old.
no, they don't know what the hell
They're
they're
not
doing.
bleeding on your freshly washed
Yeah.
pants or washed
I,
pants.
the day that happens, though.
Smack,
the
smack.
last time.
Yeah.
It's the last breath you'll ever take. Okay, well then let's get back to because we went off on a really really great conversation about Avenged Sevenfold, but we did kind of pass by some of the stuff that you do as an artist. You know, what was it about electronic music in general that you feel like kind of like brought you in?
I think it's just really, it's so much on the opposite end of the spectrum of such, like, pop culture.
It's deeply alternative in a
It's-
positive way.
Yeah,
instead of metal.
there's not a lot of songs you hear except a lot of stuff I listen to. That's about like bad topics.
Right.
And even then,
Right?
those are just simply like statements.
Yeah.
Of, like, this is a vibe that I project.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's so much about the journey. That's what I like about it. Is it's not about the how much you dance to it or like turn up to it. It's the music you can feel. And sure, there's plenty of artists out there in different genres that do that.
Right.
But it's really just the emotion you can feel with the sound is a unique phenomenon, right?
Right.
A rave is radical audio visual experience.
I don't know if that's what Ellis Dream coined it as.
No, I've heard it.
Is that what it stands for?
Yeah, I googled it afterwards, and that's like supposed to be what that was. There's obviously multiple origins because Reddit, but you know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely that.
Yeah, no,
and
that makes sense.
The community, at least when I went to more raves, I've kind of slowed down now, is so cohesive. Right?
Yeah, the unity is nice. Like that's okay. Yeah, that's the one thing. After stepping from someone who makes rave music into a hip hop scene where Plur is prominent in rave music, so peace, love, unity, and respect, and then that never once is even faintly mentioned in hip hop. However, I see that actually practiced.
Oh, for sure.
I see label owners actually caring for their artists, and like artists caring for their like fellow producers, and then them also caring for their communities. So like there's an actual trickle down effect versus in rave music where I've seen like hyper gatekeepy stuff to where like artists don't like do that kind of like, I don't know if that's just because hip hop and smoking blunts makes you talk together. Well, or whatever, but like I just there's like a really,
if it was based
like,
on drugs, the rave scene has a talkative drug, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just strange that like DJs are either kind of too sucked up or nervous or whatever to kind of do that kind of action, or they just don't have that much sway in society because it is a niche scene.
Right.
Oh yeah,
that's a big part of it too.
They're not making the big bucks.
Yeah, you're not getting Jay-Z bucks,
Excision,
so that
Subtronics.
this Plur Subtronics can actually build a complex for how
those ones are doing big things right now.
Yeah.
Subtronics has a show at like the Kia Forum,
right,
which is like a stadium.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, I think
we're making waves.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too has to do with rave music not necessarily having like written lyrics. A lot of it is sampled.
Oh, there's plenty I can show you.
No, I'm sure, but I mean like when you think about like the main
the origin of
like the clubbing like kind of thing,
yeah.
to whereas like hip hop is so hyper focused on lyrics, and because of that you get people who, I mean, hip hop is very poetic.
I listen to a lot of rap.
Yeah, and I think a big draw with people, I think why the community is so like, for instance, if you're Jay-Z and you're looking to sign a new artist, it's like you want to sign the guy that either has the most savage bars or the most meaningful bars.
Yeah.
You don't want to sign somebody who has the sickest beats. The beats kind of is the underline in hip hop.
Unfortunately,
like the lyrics,
that's what it's become, though, in my opinion.
We're trying to change it, dude.
Yeah.
We're trying to change it.
Good. Get the producers paid.
Right.
But
that's when
we're trying to change that.
Communities should go together.
Yeah.
When like artist in your area, like, and I was personally guilty of this as someone who was struggling to learn music at first. I saw an artist in my area and was like, I'm like fucking inferior, which caused a weird jealousy thing, I guess. I don't know. So like
that's a common thing.
Just band together, because as soon as I got over my "you're better than me" and I should learn this on my own thing and started communicating, was when the community and unity that the rave scene did not have actually blossomed for me. And I was like, there is unity, peace, love, unity, and respect, like deeply ingrained in hip hop. It's not marketed for a commercial sale.
Right.
So,
well, and it's
like,
it's also
my
one of those
issue with rave music.
Right.
Aside from that, my favorite.
Yeah.
By far.
I love that we're kind of bringing, because I'm not necessarily into the rave scene or the rave music stuff. Not that I'm against it. It was just never really my thing. I love your guys' music, but I guess just not involved.
Yeah.
With the rave scene or anything. And then being in a hip hop group, I can see exactly what you're saying when like that attitude exists in the hip hop culture. But then also the influence and the situation that we're in to be able to make music with a hip hop artist and kind of have our own like input into that, I can see that we're bringing that emotion into it. And
Yeah,
like,
and we're like, because we're like metal scene kids.
Yeah.
So like we're bringing an entire different wave
Right.
of like synthesizers and
Right.
stuff.
Like, even when
into
we're
a random
tracking
hip-hop
stuff.
community.
Exactly.
So that's why like just simply hanging out with other people
One
in
of my-
different genres like made
Yeah.
our music and their music different and better in those ways. I
right.
guess.
One of my favorite examples of that is when we did 10 of Me, which 10 of Me is at least like so far from what I've heard, the feedback that I've gotten from The Drowning. 10 of Me is a lot of people's favorite song, and there's so many metal-esque things.
It sticks
yeah.
out.
that
Yeah,
song,
that
like,
started off as a warm-up riff. that
yeah.
was
Hollywood
playing in
Undead
the
type
garage.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and
song was
so-
written in what? Like the melodies for that song was written in like 3 hours.
Yeah, not even, dude.
Yeah,
It
not
was
even
one of
that.
those
Like,
things.
We were done
we were
in the
done
studio for that day
because
in
it was
3
right up
hours.
our alley. So like AJ's like, yeah, I want to make a trap song, and we were like, okay, well, what does that mean? And he's like, well, trap being like, I want it to be like very like
Chunky.
ba 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 ba, and we were like, oh, say less, fam, and we just wrote like this. Travis wrote this sick ass like metal-esque bass
It's always
riff.
the warm-up riffs that
Yeah.
I fuck with you with and
Yeah.
turn up too loud.
And then
that
we
end up
we started
making
going
these
ham, and
songs.
then the lyrics started getting written, and then there's also another song that we're sitting on right now that isn't on the album, but
Oof.
the Tell Me
That
Who
one's gonna
Fucking
be
With
a
Me one.
Slapper, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that
seriously.
song's super
Suicide Boys style song.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, was that the one I was thinking of?
Yeah.
that
That's
one.
that's another example
That
too.
one-
We didn't release
one's
that on
my
the album.
brainchild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like-
That one's gonna be fun because we have a whole session worth of. We had one of our buddies who screams and does metal vocals. We had him come over and lay down a bunch of different vocal samples for it, and so that's just like one of those songs. Again, that one, 10 of Me. Like there's a couple songs that we have where it's just like, you can tell when you hear it, like if you have, well, I think you'll be able to tell. So when the Speakeasy releases our album that we have coming out, it'll make sense.
Well.
Like you'll be able to look at it and go, oh, that's where the music behind 10 of Me came from, or that's where the music behind Tell Me Who Fucking With Me came from. Like
It's cool to watch them merge together.
Exactly.
As we
That's
write
what I
our
was-
music.
yeah.
Because like we started with no albums with AJ, and then I was tired of making quote commercial fucking dubstep. So, like, we just kind of I wanted something to where I could fuse multiple genres together because like this whole Little Peep thing where he was like slightly punk.
It worked.
And it was a fucking huge thing. I was
Yeah.
just like, why not actually not constrain myself to something that I know will make money or be cool and just like slap a bunch of shit that I've liked my whole
You mean it's okay
life.
to have a snare off the grid now?
should be.
I have direct visible proof that I followed your rule.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with samples, I didn't design it.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did not take 8 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plenty of drums exist.
They do.
Dude,
Yeah.
Limitless. That's
There's
Mode
no
Step
shame.
Pack? That's a good one.
That's my favorite.
I
We had a
avoided that.
Most Def, dude. We had a Most Def pack on the fucking drum machine
yeah.
when we did the fucking Blue List show. We had a Most Def drum pack that I used on one of the songs. I don't remember which one it
Yeah,
was, but
AJ
we had.
likes that,
Yep,
yeah.
we had a Most Def pack that I used on one of our, actually our most recent show that is on Twitch, Blue List TV. You guys should go check out the interview if you guys have liked what you've heard from Trav and I so far. We did a whole, like, what was it? It was like an hour show where we would play a song. Well, okay, the first 31 minutes are is the host giving updates about music, news, and stuff like that. But we come on at like 31 minutes. We play a song. She interviews us for a little bit. Then we play another song. She interviews us for a little bit. And her name's Jen. She's super sweet. And she did an awesome job. But like that Blue List stuff, for that show, I used a Most Def drum pack, which was the original point that I was making, even though I gave us a free shout out. Look at me, dude. I'm getting good at this fucking shout out shit.
That was a lot of left turns.
A lot of left turns, but it came back to the original road that we were on.
You make 3 left turns,
That's
you
it.
basically made a right.
Exactly, dude. That's what I'm after, man. I want to take the scenic route to things. You know? I want things to be scenic. I don't necessarily want to get there from A to B the quickest way possible.
Just don't make 4 left turns.
What happens if you make 4?
You just go the same way you were
Point of
going.
origin.
God, I can't tell you how many times in my life I made 4 left turns. You know?
Just a
No.
whole.
I've made no,
Loop the
not like
loop.
literally
No, I'm
while
just
driving.
kidding, I'm kidding.
I just mean in life.
Bro, Google Maps.
Ah, dude, it's the greatest thing. I remember MapQuest.
Remember when I had a fucking parallel dimension split when we were at that show?
Oh my god.
I had a fucking panic attack because this motherfucker, the streets in LA are north
They're a
and
nightmare.
south streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. I'm from here. And then he's like, I'm on the corner of this street. I was like, cool. I'm looking right at that sign and you're not underneath it. He's like, I don't see you either. I'm sitting right there. I was like, I've been driving this block
was at
for
the Viper
30
Room show?
fucking minutes.
This was Viper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, I had a
Yeah.
massive mental break.
Yeah, we had to come find him. So
shaking.
I was
like,
sitting-
I'm fucking in a different dimension. Like I cannot find Eli.
Drove and
The
ripped
coordinates
space
were
and
right.
time.
He sent me his Apple Maps location.
Yeah.
Everything
The
was
coordinates
checking
are right,
out.
but
so
is the
he was
dimension
on
correct?
he was on
Exactly.
east.
It was a mandala
Yeah.
I'm in the
effect.
wrong Milky
He was on
Way.
east and I was on south.
Oh.
So and we were on the same cross street. Just I was on the east side of it. I was around the corner and like yeah, we had to go find him.
The buildings looked the same. He was like describing brick buildings. I was like, Eli, what the fuck is happening right now? Like I don't see you at all. I was like, babe, Nichelle, do you?
No, he was
No,
calling me, babe.
he's
like,
not
for
On
sure.
the wrong server.
Dude, it was so wild. Like we were literally like, did we hit a glitch in the fucking
Yeah, that
like
was
simulation?
So not
What the
true.
fuck is
Yeah.
going on
Get
right
out
now?
of the car and go, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Why?
that was wild. I forgot
We're
about that.
Such fucking desert.
We and
kids
that's when
that,
we
like,
Yeah.
we
the-
parked at that fucking apartment complex and just left our cars there. We were like, if they fucking tow them, they tow them. We just parked in some random apartment complex's parking garage.
Yeah, we
And-
joined you, I think.
Oh, that's right.
yeah, we went and
You
parked
guys
in the
came
same
down
one.
for that one.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, I forgot about because
I
you had,
lived
who
3
else was there? It
years
was
in that
you. Yeah, dude, for real. It was you. It was
Oh.
I think Muhammad came down.
Yeah, it was
right?
myself,
was there.
Muhammad.
Kais.
Probably Kais.
Kais
and
I
was
just
there.
I
Sean.
just
Was
hit up
Sean-
Mohammed to be on here.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Muhammad's
nice.
coming
Yeah.
on. Muhammad's gonna.
Oh
wait.
yeah, we're starting up like a DJ live segment where I'm gonna have this live streamed in here. So if you want to play some sets,
Yeah, that'd be
then
dope.
we can do that, and
That'd
your
be dope.
kids can watch
And I
you
can
do
bring
that
over
too.
I'll come
my.
vibe out.
I'll bring
Cool.
my electronic kit over, and we can do a little jam.
You can do
session.
that
Yeah.
whenever
Plug
you
right
want.
in. So
Like,
yeah,
anytime.
you have first priority with that shit because we haven't booked anything for it. It's just kind of it's in the works
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
just coming up. I
Yeah.
have 3 DJs lined up to do that, so that's gonna start up in the next like 2 weeks.
So Mr. A.
Yeah, I'll hit some buttons.
Oh yeah,
So Mr. A.
why
we
is
got,
Jackin your favorite?
Yeah,
I
why is-
never said
Yeah, oh yeah,
that.
you never even answered the question. You said
Yeah,
I'm surprised
we
you got
took all
the-
these left turns.
Yeah, so you know it's what I do,
I'm
man.
just in the passenger seat.
Yeah,
Dude,
no, you're right. You're right.
all right.
You
That
know,
was
you're
the
right.
third left. We're
That's
back.
a great point. All right, cool. So third left, we're back. What? Why? Who is
Where,
your favorite?
when?
Where, when, why? So who's your favorite past student, and why is it? Well, I'm not. You know, Jake and Maya and Drake.
And Drake.
Why are they your? Who's your favorite, man?
I will never, ever give up that information.
That's
I'm
good.
like a dad with
for you.
a favorite kid.
Good for
and
you.
secretly
You're not gonna.
hate
Yeah, you're
one.
not gonna tell your other kids about that
know?
shit.
Well, maybe.
It depends on how
Yeah.
grounded they need to be.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I've been so blessed to have a group of great kids so far.
That's good, man.
And the class they were from was a great class. They want me to call it my favorite right now, but I won't.
The class that they came from. So have they already graduated?
Oh, well, no, just like the class that I had with them. They were
Oh,
my
okay.
third period class.
Gotcha. Well,
They
third
graduate this year. Super excited. I went to
for you.
graduation last year.
Is that your first class that graduates?
Second.
No, I had some seniors last year. So it was cool to be there, and they were like so excited I was there, as if it never happened.
Do you have
right?
students? Sidebar. Do you have students that like come into your room even though they're not like? So for instance,
Oh
like,
yeah, I have students that
So
come in
you
and
are
eat,
the cool
eat
just
lunch.
Okay, yeah, so you're the cool dude. You're the cool dude that students.
Yeah.
My
They
acting
come and
coach
say
was
hi
like that.
all
Yeah.
the time.
My
That's
acting coach was
cool.
like that.
I'm glad you're that person. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because, like, those people make a difference.
Yeah, that's it's
That's who becomes the active therapist that actually makes a difference at home.
it's the teachers who think being good is results in test scores
Right.
that are destroying the system.
Unfair.
100%.
Yeah, like kids, like yeah, we can train these kids
Do you
to.
agree with
to be
having
smart on
SATs?
paper.
I do not.
SATs aren't even used anymore
Good. What the
in
fuck
colleges.
was that?
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
That was torturous.
because
for
we
us.
can train kids to be good at tests, but if we don't like really take care of their special uniqueness
Cool, because
and
that
their
takes
talents,
out that whole struggle with that like substance abuse for cramming.
yeah,
Wow.
Not cool.
Hopefully.
the Adderalls
And
that,
That
kids
created
take.
that situation. Like the fact that certain homework assignments and tests are even a thing
Yeah,
creates substance abuse,
Right.
and that's super not fair.
Trev, I'm not sure you're coming up on this mic at all.
I am.
Okay.
We're good.
Fair enough. You're the one that has to
We're just
edit
not
it.
seeing.
Okay, fair enough.
it's just teeny.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just a teeny tiny little wavelength. It's just a little guy. It's just that little wavelength guy.
But I mean, I
Cool.
try to nurture kids in what they love to do, you know, not what they're supposed to do.
For
Like,
sure.
Good.
well, one of my main things that I've done is kids who love art, just show me your art. Like asking them to see their art means the world to them.
Dude,
Right.
that would have made the huge
That was
difference
really,
for her
really
because she
nice,
was
though,
always
like,
drawing in school
I
and
just
like
my
Yeah.
teachers would casually keep things. So
Oh, I have I have a whole wall of things from kids.
Yeah.
And I just had a kid come up to me after my class with something he drew, and he's like, "Do you think I could add anything?" And I was like, "I'm not the one to ask to like make art,
Right.
but
right.
I appreciate it."
If
Right.
any of your students wants to draw us art for like
Yeah.
singles or Instagram,
Oh, dude, we'll
posts,
use that shit.
I'd be
Yeah.
more
Yeah,
than
we'll use it.
happy to
Just to give him a shout out.
yeah,
Fuck
straight
yeah.
the- straight up. That'd be cool.
There's one girl that's supposed to like draw a portrait of me, and I'm waiting to see if it's good because that'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Please let us know.
Yeah.
Even if
Let
it's
us know.
bad, I'll blast it.
Yeah,
Just because it's bad.
yeah.
Even if it sucks, bro.
Bad
Don't
press
worry.
is
I'll
still
put
press.
stick figures on this wall, bro. I don't
Seriously,
give a
there's
shit.
this tattoo artist named Stick Figure Jesus, and like I'm fucking not even kidding. He charges $1,000 for a tattoo, and you're done with the sitting in 20 minutes.
Jesus.
And he'll literally not even draw a good stick figure on you. Like it is like
Sign me
the
up.
worst drunken jail tattoo you can imagine.
It sells because it's just so
and his
dumb.
Instagram page has 1 million followers. Like 1 million followers, and he's like booked and tours around the world. and
Meanwhile,
does, like, guest spots in Germany.
We're
and,
producing
like,
a super dope podcast, and we need fucking 1 million listeners.
and
you
not
know?
doing tattoos.
Yeah.
I see your new
We're
tattoo.
not even charging you $1,000 to listen
There's
to
a-
this, and it's great.
Actually, a tattoo shop on the way up here. A bunch of cops are out of
Which
it
one?
with, like, you know,
That
like,
actually means something to me
tape
right now.
wrapped around it.
Where?
So
Where?
something
Where?
coming into town,
Coming into
Oh,
town,
way
being
the-
like,
way in the west side of Yucca.
Oh.
well, that
wow.
could still be Jay's shop. That's why I'm concerned. Okay.
No.
We have a tattoo artist coming on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And she's like one of my very close friends, which actually we need to do an
It's
ad read
probably
for at
down
some
by
point.
Inca Trail or something, like way down there.
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah.
there's one over there.
She's
Yeah.
on Mohawk.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll check in with her tonight just to confirm for Sunday, anyways. But yeah, so I can't really like. I feel kind of bad about asking this question, but this is a question from your student.
Yeah,
Okay.
ask it. I left it there for a reason.
Okay, fair enough. What was the gnarliest shit you've ever seen?
Bleep.
We need to know. And how has your experience been teaching a class about the things that you are passionate about? That's a two-part question.
a
Ooh, this
two-part
student
question.
did an A and B. So A, what was the gnarliest shit you've ever seen? You talked about someone getting their head bashed in with the hammer. That's pretty fucking
That's
gnarly.
pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
I guess I left it in there for an education moment,
Right.
right? This is a question you don't want to ask first for anybody.
Yeah,
in
no,
this field,
yeah, I agree.
right. It's like
You're
asking.
one of the few that actually answers those up front.
What do you mean?
I've talked to other paramedics and even Steven and like
Even Steven.
and like sometimes the answers are reserved. And,
Yeah, he's like, you don't wanna know.
You're just like
Like-
an open book about it, so I'm glad you're addressing it, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. It's just that's like asking somebody who went through trauma to think about
To-
their trauma.
Yeah.
Describe it in detail,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me exactly everything that happened.
Because it is trauma.
Yeah, no, it
And that's
it
super
is.
understated.
Yeah. So yeah, I left it in there to educate.
Yeah, so what's that? What's your thing?
Oh, that was it. Don't ask a first responder or a nurse or a doctor about the worst thing they've seen, right? It's probably...
They're probably getting a file open in their
Yeah,
head.
they really are.
Yeah, there's images that stick in your head forever with everything you do.
On top of that, oh god, yeah, don't do that. Just don't do that.
So I know
I
it looks like
we were
guts and
friends for,
glory
like,
outside.
6 or 8 months before I even asked, like, yo, you look like work was hard.
Yeah.
You know, like, we've laid on your bed before and had a talk. I was like, you good. Like, it seems like...
Oh, yeah, we've had intimate moments on my bed.
I know, I was
It's
gonna say, were you
great.
guys girlfriends?
Yeah.
Straight up. We produce music in Adam's room, so that's our
I
brainstorming
can see
center.
you.
This is
moving
his
your feet
office.
And you going, so is this good?
And he has a throne in his...
It hasn't
it's
moved.
a bathroom.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, seriously, yeah. I've just like seen it affect you, and it took me a long time before I realized that you were open about talking about those things before I felt comfortable with asking, because that is like a vivid question that like
Yeah.
it's super rude and callous to even think that that's okay. That's like what you're just asking a rape victim, like, yo, what happened? Like, just don't
it's not the cops that are asking you.
No,
you know,
like me explaining
Nobody
this
that
to you is
deserves
gonna
to
do
know.
nothing
Yeah.
for me or you except for make us both think too much.
Exactly.
Mortality.
And then
is
you
already
live
so
through it
present.
all
Yeah.
again. You know.
So yeah, no, that's a super good thing. Is there anything with that like we forgot to address or like you want to bring up that's coming up for you or?
I don't know if there's anything coming up for me.
Well, you have.
Apparently, I have a show.
You have shows in September,
Okay.
and then you have shows in October.
Sick.
So
Shows in September, shows in October.
and then
live streaming
sets
some
in
DJ
between, yeah.
sets.
So I'm gonna keep you super busy musically, as far as that regards going. So
Good, because I need a catalyst. I
yeah, no,
hardly
totally.
find time.
And I have a track I want to send you that I need a couple loves and subs on. I'm just gonna leave the Wook stuff up to you.
Yeah, there's several things that I think we can definitely utilize.
Definitely, I'll show you
Yeah.
the song as soon as we pause this, and you're gonna be like, "Yeah, I can help."
I'll look it up.
Yeah,
Dope.
I need
Or
like
I'll make it dark.
a satanic Charles the First on it.
Interesting.
If there's one thing I
in
know
other words,
about Adam,
I just
I feel like I have that somewhere on my computer.
yeah.
I'm sure. So
Actually,
yeah.
no, yeah, I do. I do have that somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Also, like, fucking, when I took emergency response, I was just wondering if you, like, did this. They had, like, a team that kind of did football games for extra credit. Like, kids that actually were going to go into the field would, like, sit on the side. And
That's a pretty good idea. But
Yeah,
we
it's-
do have a sports med class who probably gets the front seat
Yeah,
for
would
that.
make
That
total
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do have super cool things we do throughout the campus, right? We have like a disaster day, which some wonderful people there make happen for these kids. We involve the theater, we involve
Oh, cool.
the fire science students, the emergency care students, the law students, and we have them
That's
like
dope.
thrown about the campus in like their full makeup and like screaming for help.
Oh, we had
And-
something like that. We had what was our thing? We had the fucking drunk driving thing.
Oh, gee, I was like Halloween Horror Nights.
No, I was one of the dead because I was
Last
in the
Tuesday?
I was in the theater department, and it was like they would do it every other year before prom.
Yeah,
they would do like
had
a
it
drunk
every 15
driving.
minutes, right?
Yeah, every 15 minutes. That's
But-
what it's called.
Yeah, I'm so glad that existed.
But
actually.
Yeah.
this
Once
is
again,
this is
don't
something the
ask
students
first
do.
Responders some shit. Why? What if fucking Jacob had their dad killed in a fucking car accident 6 months ago?
And then
You're
they're forced to watch it.
You're gonna
Dude.
be in school.
Yeah, we had a whole pep assembly
That
for
probably
it.
wouldn't happen
Yeah,
these
sitting
days, but I
there
could see
like
that
shuffling
happening
his
that
bottom list.
back
Yeah.
then.
Schools need to stop and consider.
Yeah.
Statistically, if you're getting that many children in one room, you're gonna.
Right?
Push
Like
buttons.
Yeah,
the
you're gonna push a
sexual
kid.
abuse assemblies and stuff is not a
Yeah, I
great
think
idea.
assemblies is the
Yeah.
wrong way to go about it.
Somewhat.
You know what Kahoot is?
I actively use Kahoot.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, so our entire school.
Is this
instead of
bad?
Doing, yeah.
Should I not use
is
Kahoot?
separately
Should I not use
individually
Kahoot?
classes. Oh,
Am
no,
I
Kahoot's
somehow
fine.
being like mean and racist with
No,
Kahoot?
Kahoot's just fine. I
Okay.
used to get good fun on Kahoot actually.
What the fuck is Kahoot? what are you in cahoots with here?
Answer text on a board. Or
Yeah,
they
so
ask a
students
question
can
and they answer
log
it,
in
so
to like a
everyone gets to
test,
have one,
yeah, and then the teachers can laugh at their names. Like one time I was Anne Frank, and you know how it's
I've
you're
gotten.
on fire when you're doing
I
well.
love the ones that are actually funny, but then there's
what's
just
the
like
best
the
joke a
blatantly
student's
inappropriate
cracked?
ones.
Yeah, what's one of
Oh,
those moments where
man.
you had to be a teacher and be like, hey, you can't.
Student moment?
Yeah.
'Cause
I
we
don't.
have snark in our friend group. So like, when have you received?
I receive it constantly, but that's like the culture I've built. I'm the
one
sarcastic
kid that stood up
person.
and slammed the book on the table and
Dude.
said, "I got a tinkle."
Devin,
Like, what's the equivalent to
It's
that?
quite the
my
dichotomy.
my buddy Devin had a kid where like several kids in his class just in the middle of it just got up and walked out. And he like started
Oh.
following him out, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" They're like, "Yeah, we're leaving."
Okay.
And he's like, "What the fuck is going
so
on?"
what?
And so then one kid was like over the fence, and Devin like didn't grab him, but was like, "Hey, stop!" And he's like, all right, just let me get myself stable on the fence so I can come back over." And he's like, "Okay." And he gets himself stabilized on the fence. He's like, "To leave," and then just like jumps over, and Devin like started busting up laughing, like he couldn't even contain it, you know. And it's just like, he's all right. That kid actually,
You
like,
earned
yeah,
it
you
that
earned that.
day,
Like,
yeah.
he's like, "Let me
Yeah.
stabilize myself." Devin's like, "Okay, fair enough," you know. And then he goes to leave and jumps the
I'm
fence.
sure
like,
it's happened to me, but usually I win.
yeah,
You know my sarcastic.
yeah.
You're a cat.
Snappy
it's
wits.
really hard to fight with a cat and not get scratched.
Yeah.
So
So they fight back. I usually win, and then that's that.
That's
you
cool.
also control test grades.
Yeah, I also control
Yeah.
aspects of their life.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
and again, it sounds like you're a teacher that people like to have. So it's like, you know, I remember being a student and kind of being a troublemaker when I was a kid. And it's like, I always had those teachers where it's like, okay, I'm not going to cause trouble in here. Like, you're cool.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and those are the bad teachers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
I always tortured the teachers that were like, I don't know, like to me, just trying to like flex authority or like
Yeah.
trying to like,
Yeah,
you
be
know,
unmindful to their
yeah.
students,
So like
Yeah.
I had
personally
so that's a
have
good
talked down
example.
to only teachers that have just been fucking.
I used to
talking
pick on
without
teachers
thinking,
that would
you
pick
know?
on students.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know, I
and,
used to
like,
torture
teachers
those
that
teachers,
like
like-
address trans kids as the wrong name. and
Yeah,
shit
on purpose. Yeah, like that type of stuff.
It's not fun.
That was my whole thing, was like I always respected those who I felt like earned my respect, and not even earned my respect, but like that deserved my respect.
Yeah.
Treat
and I can
you
tell-
like a human,
Like a human being, and not like
That's-
some
that's
kid
what
who
it's
was
saying.
just
That's all
like,
it takes.
They get a weird double
Kids are smart.
standard-y
Yep.
thing,
Kids are smart,
and they're
period.
there for the paycheck, and that's 100% okay. But definitely realize that you're sending kids into the world. You're
Yeah,
so-
dude.
You are,
Forever.
yeah, you are the only hand they may have out right now.
Right.
So.
right,
Yeah, kids will reflect your behavior as the teacher.
for sure.
They learn way more from watching you like find your way through the classroom than they do from your material.
Right,
Like, how do you deal with stress? How do you respond to certain things?
right.
And they mirror that.
That makes sense. And you know what I can honestly say, as like a kid who found himself in a lot of trouble in school, I was actually like, I was voted class clown, like among my classmates. Like, so I can honestly say, like, I really wasn't the type of kid who was just going to disrupt class to disrupt class. Like, there were most of the times that I actually like got in trouble, especially in high school, was like I would see a teacher talk down to a kid that was actually really nice to me. And maybe the kid, you know, didn't present himself the best way, or didn't like, but I always felt like that need to like, I don't know, like as a teacher, like you should be prepared to deal with those students.
Yeah.
You know, it's
As
like
a-
the kid who maybe hasn't showered in a few days or whatever doesn't make him a bad kid. It just means like maybe there's something going on.
No,
Like,
yeah, they need you more than ever.
Exactly. So it's like I used to pick on those. Like I was very selective with the teachers that I like, quote
That's why I was
unquote.
happy when you chose that path.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you've already seen the raw underbelly of society. You're like, you fixed the post high school situations.
Yeah.
Like you can prevent them.
And you're always going to be.
Teachers insane.
It stands out, dude. I can tell you, as a kid who got in trouble a lot, like it's those teachers. I still text my theater coach from high school. He lives in a different state now. Like, it's not like we talk all the time, but like we dropped The Drowning, and I sent it to him, and I was like, hey man, I know you're Mormon, and I know that there's a lot of language on this, but like I think you might like it. And then he texted me a few days later and was like, hey man, this is great. Like, this is great work. You guys did a great job. Like,
I respect the Mormon math teacher I had because I expected him to be way more sharp because he
Dude,
came
he's-
in like, well, I don't let my kids watch Scooby-Doo or SpongeBob.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, why?
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
SpongeBob's gay and Scooby-Doo's a pot smoker.
Dog.
My coach was a little different. My coach was very progressive. He was like a woke Mormon. It was kind of weird.
He was, instead of just being opposing with his views, he would just state them and then listen to how he felt. So,
Yeah.
he would corner me in the morning randomly and be like, you're just an interesting one to talk. I don't know.
Yeah, my acting coach was very much so like, he wouldn't curse, but if him and I were sitting down and having a one-on-one conversation, and I'm a 17-year-old kid, I could go off, and he would literally just be like, okay, like, I understand. Like, he was such a influence to me. He's still the best teacher I've ever had. Shout out to Coach Phillips, dude. He was the best.
Used curse words like just like sprinkling.
Oh, I always did.
Like,
Yeah.
So, like, I felt like teachers were like, all right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's one thing that, like, the teacher who stuck out to me the most was my acting coach, Coach Phillips, and he was a dude who never cursed, never did anything, was very open about being, Mormon and very open about this, but would also let us pick our own audition scenes.
I never once saw him discriminate against God
Ever.
and soul.
Ever, and was always just super happy. Like, I picked he had me do an audition for a play, and I picked a monologue that was, like, not appropriate for high school. I picked, I think it was from Heat. From the, what is that, Robert De Niro and Al Pacino movie?
Or pick American Psycho.
Yeah, something like that. And I would do it, and he would only...
I know, I had to draw pictures and shit. I was like...
He would only critique me on the performance. He never critiqued me about the script that I chose. Only, hey, man, I think that you could have brought out more emotion when you said the F word. Like, he was that fucking cool, where he would just be like, hey, man, you didn't deliver, like, it's cool to have a script with cursing in it, but if you don't deliver it in the right context, it just sounds wrong. Yeah. So, he would only critique my work, never critiqued what I chose to perform, which I always, like, admired. And then, honestly, he's kind of the reason why I got comfortable with on stage, like, being on stage and being...
Same.
Before I ever
He was the reason we met, too.
Yeah, Travis
was in an acting class?
No,
I'm
well,
good at acting.
he is.
Is this whole thing an act?
Here's the
What's
crazy...
Travis like behind doors?
Nasty.
Is this,
I'm just kidding. He's a dirty boy.
His whole life is an act.
Yeah, no,
Certain
Travis and I met... Travis did have an acting class, but he would actually come in. He had, how, like, they split up lunches, like first lunch, second lunch? He would come in during his lunch because he would be on lunch break to my acting coach's class when I was in class. And so that's how Travis and I met, was like he would come into my class. Coach Phillips liked Travis and he loved me. So Trav and I started hanging out.
I was a sympathy case on crutches senior year, so.
That was so fun, dude. Yeah, I met Travis when he had a shattered leg.
Yep.
I was halfway through senior year, had a truck, was able to drive, had a girlfriend, broke my leg, lost my girlfriend, couldn't drive my truck.
So he would come in and hang out with the acting kids.
Graduated on
You lost your
crutches.
girlfriend because of the broken leg?
Yeah,
Yeah.
inadvertently.
If it's the same girlfriend I'm thinking of, she was kind of a...
It was okay.
Anyways, no, but honestly, man, this has been a great episode, dude, and I'm super happy that you were able to come up. We have, what are we at, like 2 hours now, 3 hours?
This is a two-parter.
This is a
We're
two-parter.
good, yeah.
We're gonna go
It's-
2 parts with it.
It's very high minutes, I see.
I couldn't be happier with the way. Honestly, like, I haven't said this yet, but up to this point, I think this is my favorite episode that we've done. Like, I really do. Despite all the audio errors we had coming into it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's hope we can even hear ourselves.
Oh, we'll be fine. Travis will figure
We're
it
good
out.
at this point.
Yeah.
Bro, I was.
There's no
I
going
was
back
turning
now.
Red before you showed up. I was
Oh
like, this
man,
is
I could
not
tell when
good.
I walked in. I'm like, what's going
I had
wrong?
to get out my cloud amplifier and shit. I was like,
Oh,
this
man.
just quit on me.
Yeah.
So.
But is there any like what's one thing right now? Because and we'll close it up with this, and then we'll do our little closing and housekeeping notes.
I'm gonna tell a horrible story at the end.
You want to tell it now?
Okay, alright.
You pulled me into it.
Alright, so this was terrible. I don't even understand how the school system managed to do this. I'm pretty sure it was just because some cases were going on with girls in the school. So instead of I don't know. I don't know how anybody thought this conceptually in plan was okay. Like, first we're all walking the field after talking about stats, fine with that. I got hit in the forehead with a bag of M&Ms because I said the male stats were incorrect. I was like, no, they're not going to be accurate.
Who hit
don't
you?
Come forward.
Who throws a bag of M&Ms?
She was trying to be like, he go, but she threw it hard as fuck. And
Oh,
I just
okay.
was like...
Was it a teacher?
Yeah, she
just chucked a bag of
Nice.
M&Ms at your
Because she
face?
was talking about the stats, and I was like, you know...
Adam just whipped
let's
out
not
his
talk about the stats
notepad
for 2
and is
seconds.
writing stuff down.
Yeah, this is
Bro,
a teacher.
if
If
I'm
I
is
throw
inspired to be.
candy
at
at kids, I won't
idiots.
get in
Yeah,
trouble.
you know,
It
you
was like the...
can get away with a lot of fun things like that in jest when your kids trust you and you trust them, right? Like I've thrown stuff at kids,
Yeah, these
but
were-
one, not hard and not with any ill intent,
Yeah.
right? But that's like the playfulness we have.
Yeah, I didn't know these people. I'm pretty sure they came to the school in order to just talk about the stats and stuff. So I was just like, I just think this is something we should probably discuss, given the fact that we're talking so heavily about, coming forward and so forth. So, like, you know, it's important. And fucking, I just got pelted with M&Ms. And then we had to go sit in an auditorium with every child in the school and play a Kahoot game.
Oh, that's right. This is. Oh yeah, we got so sidetracked with
With
Kahoots.
the
We're in Kahoots.
sexual assault terms, like what the definitions were. They were playing a Kahoot game for a $25 gift card for Starbucks.
And y'all are talking about
for these
triggering ass
Win
shit.
this
I
Starbucks
threw
card
up
for
after
Rick.
and had to talk to these women. I
Jesus.
walked up and said this was the most unhelpful thing you could have done.
Yeah. For any child that's struggling with
No,
all
on
of
top
these
that,
different things.
Yeah, they left. Everybody's in the auditorium. Everybody's staring at each other. They're in the middle. They're all, you guys want to come down and get pamphlets? If you need help, just come down and talk about it. It's like in front of
Everyone?
everybody
Yeah.
at school. It's like,
That was honestly, so to kind of add to that, like, youth group was a lot like that. I'm
so
not even
sorry.
kidding. I'm not even kidding. Am I wrong?
I
I'm so
call him
sorry.
Youth Leader Eli.
Yeah,
what
dude.
a bridge.
That's
Dude,
his
no, but
Pokemon
that's
trainer
dude.
name.
Youth group was a lot like that, where it was just like, hey man,
Okay.
I know some of you guys are dealing with traumatic shit. Come down, come to me afterwards and talk about it. And it's like, bro,
Form
I'm
a
around
line.
all of my peers, right? Yeah, exactly. Form a line. And it's like, I'm in front of all of my peers right now. What makes you think I want to talk about my trauma? Like,
Yeah.
Right, no, and then there was very specific people that did get up and go get pamphlets, which was even more frustrating because it's like I support so very much, but you're so not.
oh, those are the
helping.
don't forget about me people, though.
Yeah,
Those are the
and
don't forget to
Those are
think
the
about
people
me
that also
today.
actively talk about sex violently next to people when you're like, okay, thanks. I
Yeah.
didn't need to hear
Didn't
about your
didn't
anal
want to, didn't
experiences.
ask.
I've screamed at people because of that. Just 'cause
Yeah.
I'm like,
Kahoot goes hard,
in
though.
the morning.
Kahoot goes hard.
Yeah, the beats that play when that game's on,
Oh, dude,
that's a banger.
that is a banger. Wait, somebody play it.
That's a
before.
classic bot.
Travis.
We'll add it in. Travis,
Get
add
on
it into
YouTube
this.
right
Oh
now.
no, we'll get fucking in trouble if we add it in because we're not licensed.
Oh,
Oh,
too
copyright
bad.
issues.
Yeah, we'll get in
Hashtag
trouble if we
broke
throw
I'll
that
have
in.
Travis
We
sing
are
it instead.
Okay.
Is
Yeah, we'll
Kahoot
have
music
we'll edit
copyrighted?
some
It
part of
must
it in.
be.
I'm
It would
sure,
not.
dude.
Dude, it's gotta be.
Metadata is-
Yeah.
We can't use like a
Anything.
direct
Oh,
soundtrack.
yeah. On top
like,
of that, kids
we have to
can
give
name
permission.
themselves anything on Kahoot. So I was behind like a kid named the N word, another kid named the rapist, and then Mia was just like, "Why won't you help us?"
You'll be surprised.
What's the best name that you've seen on Kahoot?
The N word.
You see? Yeah, these are things that just I don't store in my brain. 'Cause
Damn it!
I have so many other things to think about.
'Cause he's a
Disappointing me.
professional.
This
Yeah,
used to
he's
be
a-
Yeah.
blood that was. See, this is why I miss the trauma.
Yeah,
Because
right.
I could just bring up those harsh memories and make you cry at night. Now I can't.
Now I
Because
can't.
Kahoot
Make me
names
cry.
don't make you cry at night.
No, and
I'm
there's
glad you're healthy. Though.
and if they put anything in that's that bad, there's an option where it makes you a nickname for you.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh.
So it's like you're the crazy dolphin.
Yeah, thank you, bias
Yeah.
testers.
It's like that's not what I put at all.
To the kid that won the gift card too, are you fucking okay? Like, are you okay?
Well educated, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing well?
All right, well, boys and girl, this has been a fantastic episode. I mean, for me personally, I had a fucking blast. I think we covered a lot of different topics. I appreciate you coming on, Adam, and I appreciate you being so transparent with everything. I feel like this is a perspective that not a lot of not only like it's going to be a different perspective for your students that listen.
Yeah, it takes it outside of the curriculum.
But yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it definitely
that's my
shows.
number one trait as a teacher is stepping outside the box they want me in.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there any other questions that anybody has? Nichelle, you good? Travis, you good?
Yep.
Adam, do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so.
All right,
I didn't come
dude.
prepared.
We covered
No,
we
you
covered
did.
it all.
Thank
No,
you.
you did. You
Yeah.
came more prepared. You had that whole list of questions was actually really fun. Having 5 questions from people who wanted answers.
Yeah.
And then just being able to sprinkle them in was great. So let's
There
get
was
to.
a number 6 that was who was your favorite class?
Oh, okay.
from
Who's your
last
favorite
year.
class?
Man, if I air this out, I'm never going to hear the end of it.
Air it. That's what I want. I want
Fourth
you.
period.
4th period this year?
Last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, that's tea.
Shout out
Yeah.
I
fourth
feel it.
period.
Yeah. Shout out last year's 4th period
Yeah.
class.
I have a feeling like we're gonna blur that really fucking hard.
I'm gonna get
I
back
know.
to school.
I'm gonna turn
should
that
do
up
like that.
so loud.
There's gonna
Yeah.
be
Only
a
gonna be fourth
protest.
period.
There's
It's
gonna be a
still be
protest.
echoing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well then, let's get to a couple of housekeeping notes then. We have a show on September 1st at the Beatnik Lounge
Joshua Tree.
in Joshua Tree. Mike Craftsman in the Speakeasy. We will be playing. I don't know if we're going to be playing the entirety of the new album. We'll probably pick
Probably a
5 or
few
6.
off, yeah.
We'll probably take a few songs off of that and play that. We still haven't we haven't solidified our set list yet for that. But as always, you can follow Travis or myself. I am at Elias Betger on Instagram. Pretty fucking simple. ELIASBOETGER. If you want to follow me, Travis is at, what is it, _?
At CHRAVIS_.
Perfect. And then
Travis.
of course
Exactly
go
how
and
I say
follow. Yeah,
Travis.
Travis.
His
Travis.
name legally changed.
Um,
I think it's way better.
Oh, dude, 100%. But it costs so much money to do that. You can also follow the Speakeasy at the Speakeasy. What is it?
The
Speakeasy, which is SPEEK.
The Speaks.
Easy.
Yep, and Adam's tag has been on the screen the whole time.
Yep, Adam's
Yeah,
tag has been on the screen the
there.
whole time.
Shout
but
out
also,
the real Mr. A.
Yes,
sir.
That's my name because there's a Mr. A fan page out there.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Did
It's
your
not
students
active
create
anymore.
it?
It was a joke. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
man, we should make some subreddits.
yeah, we'll make some
The
subreddits.
Mr. A subreddit.
The real Mr. A.
You guys heard it. Do
We're
it.
gonna start
Yeah.
up a Discord.
Make me the moderator.
Yeah.
All right.
I would love. They actually asked me if they could start one, but I'm not allowed to be in that stuff because it's not watched by the school.
Mm.
Right.
That makes
I
sense.
can't chat with a kid somewhere where it can't be seen.
Yeah, that makes
Oh,
sense.
that makes sense.
That
That's
makes
good.
glad,
Makes a
you
lot
know,
of
I'm
sense,
actually
right?
happy that exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, awesome, Adam. Thank you so much for coming on, man. We'll obviously and definitely have you on again anytime you
Yeah.
want to come on and
Should we do
jump
an ad?
in. Oh, do you want to
No,
do an
it's
ad?
time to
Do we want to
clown,
do the
man.
real one or do we want to do another fake one?
Let's do a real one and then a fake one.
Okay. Well, I'll do the real one if you do the
Yep,
fake
yep.
one.
You
Okay.
guys have
Cool.
to figure out which one is the real one and which one's the fake one.
Yeah.
That's actually fair. Okay, cool. So this episode of the podcast is brought to you by Strata Tattoo Lab. Strata Tattoo Lab has actually been a huge part of this community for 20 plus years at this point. Locally owned by Jay Jones, who we're actually going to have on the podcast on Sunday. So I'm super excited about that. But Strata Tattoo is a great establishment, and I don't say that as a local who loves to support our local business. I don't say that as a personal friend of the owner, Jay Jones. I say that as a client. I have 6 tattoos on my body, and Jay Jones has done all 6 of them. She is my tattoo artist. She puts so much time and so much work and so much effort into her art, and not only into her art, but into her clients. One of the reasons why I'm so excited to have her on is because aside from being a personal friend of mine, aside from me living at her house for a while, I was taking care of her pigs and her goats as a farmhand. Aside from all of that stuff, she puts in great work. The first tattoo that I got, I was 18 years old. I'm turning 29 in November, and this tattoo still looks great. I'm still proud of it. I have no, backtrack. And then the other 6 tattoos that I have on my body were all done by her. So I stand by her work. So luckily, when we hit her up and we asked her if we can give her some free ad space, she was 100% accepted to it. And I couldn't be happier about it to have her as a unofficial / official sponsor. So if you guys are in the area, if you guys live in Yucca, Joshua Tree, whatever, there is no better place to have your tattoos done than at Strata Tattoo Lab. They provide a very, very professional, clean environment for you to get your stuff done. And I just can't thank them enough for allowing us to give them some ad space and to also be a represent, like trusting us enough to represent their business in these ad reads. So this episode's brought to you by Strata Tattoo Lab, specifically Jay Jones, at the Dr. Jones, I believe is her name on Instagram. You guys should go check out her work. She's fantastic. She provides fast, clean, and efficient service, which is so important when you're getting a tattoo. I can't tell you how many stories I've heard about people going and being like, oh yeah, I scheduled a tattoo session and they charged me for 5 hours, but it only took them an hour and a half to do the actual tattoo. Jay's not like that. Jay's going to provide you with a price where she only charges you for the amount of time that she works. Any breaks that are included or whatever are not included in the tattoo price. And she's always done right by me. She does amazing work. My skin is literally a testament to that. If you guys have ever seen my tattoos, she's done great work. So this episode's brought to you by Strata Tattoo Lab. You guys can check them out at stratatattoolab.com and also on Instagram at Strata Tattoo Lab. So thank you guys for tuning in for the episode. And here is Travis with our next ad read.
All right, here are definitely real ads. A lot of these deal in human trafficking and ramen, so I'm going to glaze over those for our high school audience. Onto a high school topic. Need Juul pods. Juul pod cigarettes. Guaranteed to get you cancer by the end of the pack. You need to pick up these Juul pod cigarettes because that vape is just not cutting it anymore, Famborghini. What you need to do is follow old Peepaw's method of going out hard and swinging.
Peepaw?
So, yeah, Peepaw, Grandpa. So, pick up your first free pack of Juul pod cigarettes. They will kill you by the end of the pack. You get cancer stage 4. So, we also have another ad from...
there's more. What else does Peepaw have to say?
It's actually a partnered ad. Hex Your Ex dating service. You can use this app anytime, anywhere, 24/7 to find the right witch to teach that bitch. Hex Your Ex dating service. www.findtherightbitch to teach that bitch. Yeah. Find it, dude. Okay.
All right, guys, we love you all so much. Adam did not know about any of those ad reads, so it is not his fault. Mr. A is not responsible for any high school
any
students who are taking Juul
hexes,
pods.
any ants
vaping going on in the bathroom.
No, definitely the point of the Juul pod ad is just stop vaping. Stop. I quit vaping. You quit vaping. We all quit. We all love ice cream.
Yeah.
So
ice cream,
just,
you scream.
Well, like I love ice cream. I hate vaping. You should quit vaping.
Me?
All right.
I don't vape.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, like just
In
high
general.
school.
I tried to vape
He's like
once.
staring dead in your soul.
Yeah.
Stop vaping, Adam.
Stop vaping. Adam. You vape so much.
Every time I've tried to vape, it hurts my throat so much. I don't know how
It doesn't
it's
work.
bad.
It
I'm
doesn't
glad
work.
I stopped.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
ridiculous the
It's
damage
really
it does.
bad, yeah.
If it hurts your throat that bad, your lungs are on fire.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
100%.
So, yeah.
All right, kiddos, women, men, anything in between. We will see you guys on the next episode of the Speakeasy Presents the podcast.
The podcast.
We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in.
So much.
To all of Mr. A's students, we're sorry. We're sorry.
This is what they've been asking for, and even
Yeah.
this is tame because I know they're gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
So when you guys graduate, you can hear.
We'll have
Mr.
Adam
A.
back on.
Yeah, we'll have Adam
Yeah.
back on
3
for a
years,
graduation
yeah.
episode.
Oh yeah.
That'd be
Yeah,
dope.
and then he'll actually disclose how he feels about you guys. The fourth period's really gonna get the statement.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't his it's his favorite to just disseminate false information onto his friends.
Complete mind control.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Shut up. shredded.